live.
Holy cow. Is this actually a Thursday night? Is this actually Thursday? What, December the 14th? And this is actually PM in the PM? I'm being Jasper right now. This is actually happening right now. Really.
Actually,
We're actually going to have a PM in the PM, a regularly scheduled PM in the PM. That's right. Pong and Mav, we are here. I think we are live. I don't even know if I remember how to do this thing on PM in the PM. But we're here. And I think everything's going good so far. And first of all, I mean, I know you all missed us. I know you guys did. We missed you guys even more than you missed us. But my God, big shout out to Bold Alpha Wolfpack coming with the 5-bomb early, getting that sub train rolling, giving you guys layups. That's right. I got some new words for you. Giving you guys easy layups here, paving the way for our big whales to come through with some 20 bombs, folks. That's right. Bold Alpha Wolfpack with the 5-bomb early in the show. Choo choo, motherfuckers. It's back again. That's right. It's not going away. Y'all love it. Y'all got a big goal to hit. 916 for the month on Fun Speculation Network. I don't know what Mav's other shows have done, so we're just going to do with the shows that I'm on. 916 is where we're at, everybody. Help us help you hit your goal for this channel right here and keep those ads away. That's right, everybody. What a start to PM in the PM. Thank you, Bold Alpha Wolfpack. And I don't have chat up right now, so if anybody hits us up, Mav's going to have to let me know.
Decado just did with the 5.
It's of course, again, these are layups, folks. If you don't understand what happens here, Decado, Bold Alpha Wolfpack, both giving you all layups to continue the sub train. That's right, Decado. Thank you, brother, for coming through as always and shoveling some extra coal into the fires that is the Fun Speculation Network sub train. 5-bomb coming overhead. Beep. Decado in the house early. Let's go, everybody. That's right. We are back again. If you missed us again, we missed you more. Love you all. What a week, Mav. What a few weeks it has been. Normally, December is absolutely dead. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Normally, December is dead because all these companies go on vacation. There is no news happening. That's not the case over the past 3 weeks. We are inundated with news and stories. Mav and I have no idea what we're going to talk about tonight because I just slid in the chair literally 3 minutes ago. So we have no idea what's going on. I haven't posted anything to the DMs. So we're going to figure this out on the roll, but I know there's been a lot going on and I got maybe a small rant to go on. Maybe we'll get Mav fired up to go on a rant as well tonight. But thank you all for joining us. We have missed you in all seriousness, guys. Missed you greatly. Again, these shows are my therapy in a lot of ways. Miss the energy, miss doing them. Yes, we had the awards show, which was fantastic. Again, getting together with the fam. But me and Mav sitting down, it's been a month. So speaking of Mav, the one, the only, the CEO of the Fun Speculation Network, who put out an amazing post talking about how he feels about the family and about what he's created here. Him and Kaitlin both have created with the Fun Speculation Network, but it's shared by all of us in the family. But you did an amazing post, brother. This really has turned into a special place. Everybody that's a part of it is absolutely 100% special to me. That includes all of you in the chat that join us on all of our shows as well. But my God, man, how you been, Mav? It's been a minute. We haven't played games together. I've been MIA during the weekends, been busy, lots of stuff. How you been, brother? It's been a while.
I've been doing good, man. I was just working, and it's that time of year where things kind of start to slow down, but there's a lot going on still at the same time. A little out of normal this year, so I've been keeping busy, and yeah, I've been playing games, but I've been grazing a lot, hopping in between this and that. Been playing a lot of multiplayer stuff like Fortnite. Played a little bit of the finals. Played some Avatar actually, which is not multiplayer, but single player. It's the kind of the single player game I've been playing. But yeah, man, just like eating good in the gaming world, that's for damn sure. Pong and this chat, I don't know what you have created here, bro, but like we got, this is insane. Bold Alpha Wolfpack gifted 10, then Decado with another 10, and then Bold Alpha Wolfpack again with another 10. I don't know what is happening, but you have created something with this choo choo motherfucker.
You don't understand what's happening here, Mav? Okay, let me tell you. First of all, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, motherfuckers. Okay, all of you, listen. This is what's happening. We've got a bomb off going. That's what we have. It's a bomb off, not a bomb going off. This is a bomb off. This is to see who's got the biggest bombs in the house, everybody. This is what our community does here in the Fun Speculation Network because they don't want to see those ads. They don't want to be forced to watch some stupid ads popping up in the middle of our damn shows, Mav. So what they're doing is they're laying down the gauntlet. Ducato, Bold Alpha Wolfpack, both dropping in with an additional, what are we up to here? We've got a total of 20 between the two of them. Is that correct, Mav? Is my count?
Ducato just hit another 10, so I'm losing track.
Another 10. Okay, so we've got 50 total gifted subs. That's right, to keep those ads away. They're laying down the gauntlet. Bold Alpha Wolfpack, Ducato, they're coming in and saying, no ads. We're not going to have any ads. You know what we're going to do? We're going to 50 bomb this motherfucker. That's what we're going to do. We're going to come in here with 50 bombs and just drop them all over the chat. That's the energy that this brings on a Thursday night. Oh, Bold Alpha Wolfpack will not be undone. See, this is alley-oops, Matt. This is in a basketball game what we call an alley-oop, right? They're just alley-ooping each other nonstop. And again, for all of you who don't understand what this is choo-choo, motherfucker. This is the sub train. This is the hype train. We are already at Mach 2, and we just got the show started because Ducato and Bold Alpha Wolfpack are shoveling coal like some crazy sons of bitches out here. Okay, that's what they're doing. We love you all. Thank you all for joining us. And again, if you come in here, it's not about the big bombs, right? We take little bombs too. You know what else we take? We take a like every once in a while on this channel too. We'll take even a share out. If you feel like sharing me and Mav out tonight, we'll take that. It all goes towards the greater effort of hitting your goal, which is now at 866. That's right, everybody.
Hit another 20.
And Ducato will not be undone here. He wants the championship ring. He wants the bomb champion. He does. He wants the bomb championship. So he's coming on in here. He flew over the B-52s. They were packed to the gills with nothing but bombs tonight. He was ready for PM and the PM to be back on Thursday night. So he drops another 20 bombs. So guess what? Your goal's down to 846. You guys are killing it already. You guys are killing it. We might have this thing down to like 200 by the end of the show. This is crazy. This is insane. Choo choo, choo choo, you motherfuckers. Great start to PM the PM. Thank you all for being here. Love y'all.
Oh man.
And not to be outdone either, because again, it's not about the big bombs. God Emperor Sofa King with the 2 bomb. He shows up with his own coal and says, guess what? I'm going to feed this train as well, and says, rip factions. Anybody who doesn't know what that means, we're going to talk about it here in just a minute because we're going to lead off the show with this. But thank you all for joining us tonight. Absolutely incredible energy out the gates. And again, for anybody listening to us live for the first time, if you catch this on one of the many different places that you can re-watch or listen to this down the road, please understand that is all a spoof. This channel is not an e-begging channel. This is something that grew organically because I decided to riff on somebody in the community who does like to e-beg over the top. I went even crazier over the top with it. And, it's not serious because we don't care. It's never expected here. We're not going to do ads. We're not going to sell you. Well, we might sell you coffee at some point. Who knows? But we're not going to do ads.
Sell Manscaped for a while. So.
We did sell Manscaped. We're not going to. We're not going to shove ads down your throats. Okay, guys. Okay.
Because
it's not going to
say that I haven't been turning ads on ever since they started doing this. Like I literally haven't been turning ads on. You started saying that. I'm like, okay, I just won't turn the fucking ads on the videos. It's just always been such a automatic thing. But I'm like, Pong said we're not gonna have ads, so I guess we're not gonna have ads on the channel anymore. So I literally haven't been turning on ads on the fucking videos, dude, because I don't want people to think that we're trying to fuck them over. But it's fucking hilarious. This chat's been amazing.
This chat has been amazing. First of all, we got another. We got another 2 bomb. We got another freaking 2 bomb. Choo choo, motherfucker. Chris Jones shows up in here and says 2 of my absolute favorite people. Thank you, Chris Jones. Thank you for showing up and supplying a 2 bomb to this program. We thank you. We appreciate you. And we love you. And again, thank you for the kind comments. That is a serious statement. Thank you for the kind comments, Chris. Absolutely love it. But it's not over with. Again, Bold Alpha Wolfpack and Decado. They're having a battle right now. Bomb run after bomb run is what these two are about tonight. I don't even know if they want to hear us talk tonight, Mav. I think they just want to hear their names called out because they're just dropping bombs everywhere. I think this is what it's turned into. How many times can Pong say my name because I drop bombs in the chat? That's what I think this has actually turned into, because Bold Alpha Wolfpack with the 20 bomb, choo-choo motherfucker. This train is now at 2.5 Mach 2.5. The fires are raging. The hype is fueling, and we are going to eventually get to a show here, folks. But Decado, remember, for 18 months, he shows up. He's got this. He says, "'Tis the season, motherfuckers." That is another good one, Decado. "'Tis the season, motherfuckers." Choo-choo. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
'Tis the season. Yeah, for sure. No, for serious, everybody, though, again, support never expected, always appreciated. And just the support you guys and the growth, everything for 2023. Like the post that I made, I was, people kind of took it as like as a 3-year celebration. That it's not actually what I meant, but like I understand how it comes across that way. But like I was just sitting back and kind of looking at your like 2023 wrap up thing from YouTube and stuff, and kind of looking at that, and then we had like the week we had last week with our co-stream for the Game Awards and our shows, and like we have 4 podcasts here. We have FSP and then Fun Pop and the PM on Thursday and Xbox Ultimate, and the support and people showing up and hanging out in the chat and having a good time, being feeling like maybe they're a part of something, like it just means the world. And I was kind of looking back at that and thinking about all the panel and all the family that we have here, and just like what a year 2023 was for gaming, but also for our channel. And super appreciate every single one of you guys that take part in being part of this community and show up, because I see a lot of the same names all the time. I see a lot of new names, and no matter if you've been here since I was doing a solo show by myself, or over 3 years ago, or if you've been here since last week, super appreciate each and every one of you guys. You all fucking rock, and this is all fun because of you guys. And Pong, you're an amazing host. Choo-choo motherfucker. Let's fucking go. Let's get to the show. How you been doing, bro?
Man, I've been just, it's been crazy as always. The weeks ebb and flow. Haven't been gaming a whole hell of a lot. Actually, I've been kind of back into my grazing a little bit more so than I was previously, just because I can't get addicted to anything right now, because that means I won't have my sleep. So have been checking out some Diablo 4 Midwinter, though, that just started this week. Freaking fantastic. Just more stuff to collect, more stuff to grind, which I'm all about in the looter. Love Diablo 4. Again, if you guys saw my stats that I posted, which we may talk about again as part of my rant, Starfield and Diablo were exactly the same amount of time. Both 356 hours so far this year. Diablo is a freaking blast. So I've been having fun with that. And then I bought a bunch of games on sale for like $5. Like under $5, like maybe one $10 game. I think Weird West was $10. Because
a good game.
I love Weird West. I've got probably 30, 40 hours in Weird West, I think. But it's no longer in Game Pass. So it's on sale right now. The big edition. So I was just like $10. I was like, I'll get that. But then I picked up Scars Above, Mav, which, if you remember, was this little AA sci-fi game that we had seen in previews last year, or in videos last year during some of the showcases. And it is a cool game. I'm not going to lie. I just got into it, but I fired it up and I was like, wow, yeah, this is AA, but this is a cool game. Scars Above is freaking awesome. And I think it's on sale right now for $9 or $8 or something like that. So I picked that up. And then I picked up the last of the Urukai, or Uruku. I forget how they say it. This was an indie game, open world, kind of semi-open world RPG with lots of choices to be made. That was a complete indie game. I played the demo and really liked it. Steele picked it up and put it down immediately. Wasn't for him. I picked it up because it's on sale for $5 right now. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to start playing this again. Again, indie game, trying big things. So if you compare it to some of the big AAA stuff or even AA stuff, you might be left disappointed. But I like those types of games when I see them come from indie developers. So jumping in that a little bit as well. Other than that, that's been about it, man. Again, really limiting my playtime down. Again, I haven't played with you guys at all, which has been crazy on the weekends. So that's pretty much where I've been at, kind of grazing again and getting into that again. So
yeah, you dominated me on the 2023 wrap for Xbox.
Oh, let's start. Let's go. The energy's hot tonight. We'll get the factions here in just a minute, folks. We'll get the factions here in just a minute. I know everybody's excited. All right, talk about factions. And we'll talk about factions, but let's talk about this week's specifically, man. I want to talk about this a little bit because this was something interesting, and I want to get your thoughts on it, man. I saw some people speak up about it as the week went on, but not everybody kind of talked about it, or not everybody's kind of looking at it in the same way or questioning it. I know there's a lot of the console war circus that obviously has been talking about this, but I'm taking it from a different perspective here. This week we got end of the year wrap ups, which is a sweet system that they've got that Xbox. I don't know if Xbox did it last year, Mav, or not. I can't remember if we posted last year or not.
I think they did.
I think we got true achievements last year. I don't think we got an Xbox official. I think we used the true achievements. Everybody kind of gets the true achievements.
2020 thing they did with the anniversary or whatever, 2021 or whatever that was. Yeah.
Yep. But cool. A lot of people didn't think Xbox was going to do it. I love the end of the year wrap-ups. Again, I have no shame in my game. You all who have listened to me for a long time, my achievements are open to everybody. Again, if you want to hide your achievements, I'm not going to judge you at all. I don't care about this. This kind of stuff. So this is not the direction I'm going in. I just think it's awesome to look back at my year. I'm not ashamed of it. Anything. Again, if you play Candy Crush all year on your cell phone and that's the only game you played, I still consider you a gamer. I'm not that gatekeeper. What I want to talk about here, first of all, shout out to Web Dave. Member for 4 months coming through. Web Dave, what's going on, brother? Mav and Pong, you guys are great for the community. Thank you, Web Dave. No, seriously, means the world to hear that kind of stuff. Again, we just do what we're passionate about and try to bring some positivity and some light to this community when we can. Dave, you do so much as well for so many different people, how many people you've shined a light on and gotten their backstories on. Thank you, Web Dave, for everything you do. But I want to talk about this, Mav. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Why this is interesting, Mav, to me at least. And I want to hear, maybe you got a different take. Maybe you don't give a shit about this. This community, for all of its nonsense, for all of its BS, for all of its drama, for all of its childlike qualities, for all of its circus, for all the clowns that do run in it, for all the great people that run in it, for all the black, white, gray, and indifferent stuff that happens in this community. There's one thing that does come about that's really cool sometimes, is that sometimes the whole community gets together at certain points and does their own way of celebrating. And this end of the year stat thing is one of those things, right? Yeah. We see it with the true achievements. We see it on the Sony side. Sony's got their year-end stats. Again, Xbox did their own this year, which was fantastic. We even got people that post their Switch stats, which they don't really do an end of the year, but you can see how many hours you played in each game. Right. I saw some people even joining in there. That's really sweet. And that's a celebration of the year of gaming that we had, what you accomplished, what you did in the gaming sphere. And again, I'm not here to judge anybody. Everybody's got different lives. Everybody's got things going on. But there was a whole lot of people missing this year, Mav. And those people are people that I believe they live in an ivory tower. And there was a whole lot of professionals out here and content creators and leaders of this community who like to act like they are amongst the common people and come down and tell us what we should talk about or what we shouldn't talk about. They come down and they do their own videos on certain topics because they're professionals, they're journalists, and they know better, and we don't know what we're talking about. They like to do this throughout the year, Mav. And they like to act as if they are a part of this community when it's convenient for them, when they have something to say, or when they think they can get some clicks, or when they think they can get some attention. They come down amongst us, the little people. But something like this comes about, Mav, and all of a sudden they disappear. They're absent. I didn't see a whole lot of journalists posting their stats. I didn't see a whole lot of big time content creators posting their stats, man. I didn't see some of the loudest voices posting their stats out here who like to claim that they are very passionate about this industry. Of course I'm passionate. I'm a journalist. I make my living out here. What do you think? I make big content out here. What do you guys think? Of course I'm passionate. I play more games than you guys can even think about. God. Where are you? Where's your stats? You see the whole community jumping in on this, big, small, and indifferent, everything in between. You see everybody posting their stats. There ain't no shame out here. There's people with smaller stats out here. There's people with big stats out here. So what's the problem? What do you think you're going to lose? Some more credibility? You scared a little bit that maybe some people will actually call you out? Because again, I'm not here to gatekeep. Everybody's a gamer. Again, play Candy Crush all year on your cell phone. I don't give a shit. Play Candy Crush on your bathroom breaks for 15 minutes a day. I don't care. You're a gamer. You play games. You enjoy a game. You're a gamer. I'm not here for that. What I am here for, though, is if you're going to represent yourself as a voice of the community, if you're going to earn money off this industry and present yourself when you review games, when you do exposés on devs, when you do this kind of stuff, if you're going to be that professional, I do believe you should probably post some stats to show what that actually means to you. And I do believe that if you are in one of those positions, even if you are just, a bigger content creator who makes money off this community or makes money off the industry, I do believe that there is a right for some people to look at your stats and question what you're doing. Because if you are going to be that, then that interest should shine through in your stats. Now, again, as I said before, everybody's got lives. Everybody's got different stuff going on. We all understand this. People take breaks. We get that. I'm not here to tell you that there's a line that you have to hit. But I'm telling you, post your stats so people can make that judgment. There's some people out there who would say my 1,700 hours on Xbox was light. That's fine. I mean, again, that I don't have a problem with that. That's for each individual. But I think if you're going to be a public figure in this community, and you're going to act as though you do live in an ivory tower because either you are paid to do this as a job or because you've built up a giant channel based upon your knowledge of the industry and the games you play, show us. Let the community be the judge of that. Of course you're going to get knuckleheads. Of course you're going to get the clown show up, even when it's not warranted. But that happens every day anyways. All of you guys know this. Anybody who's done this publicly knows that. So what are you scared of? Mav, am I way off base here?
I mean, no, I'm sure you have some specific people in mind when you're thinking about this.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think
definitely the bigger journalists, Matt, for sure.
Yeah.
The guys who come down again and talk amongst the little people.
The ones that have the most influence as well over like what games are supposed to be good and bad and stuff, like or mediocre or kind of judge them based on certain criteria and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I kind of agree. I agree with that because this has like been a community thing, and you can see like everybody doing it, right? And then it's like, and there's no shame. Like I saw people in this community that are very well respected that have like 300 hours played for the entire year.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And I'm like, cool, that's the time that person had to play. And that's like almost an hour a day, which is fine. I mean, that's cool, right? Like whatever. I had no judgment from me, right?
No.
And if that's what it is, that's what it is. And you can also count, okay, well, maybe people play also on PC a lot, or they play games on Steam, or they play games on other
end of the year is
platforms
coming
as
shortly
well,
too,
and all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
But like if you're not really taking a part in that, or you're afraid to, that kind of shows a little bit of the mentality of them, like they're maybe above that, or that they are embarrassed about it, or they are shameful of it because they realize maybe it's going to make them come across as not so much of an expert or whatever. And you know, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I think mine had like, I don't remember how many hours for sure. It was like 1,200, 1,300 or something like that, or maybe 11. It was in the it was over
something
a
in there. Yeah,
thousand
it was
something.
over 1,000.
Yeah. Games played. Me and you were kind of the same. We play a lot of different games, right? Which is interesting to see always when we kind of compare other people's where on the amount of games, but like also we don't finish as many games because of that, so there's nothing wrong with that either. It's like
there's people who judge me on that, but that's why I'm open about it.
Yeah, 100%. Either grays or this, all that kind of stuff, right? And this is not about like achievement watching or anything like that.
I could care less about any of that.
It's about the mentality that some of those people have where they kind of like have so much influence and and can change perception on games, right? Change the overall narrative on games and influence that heavily, yet they're too ashamed to share the games that they play and how much they play them. Let that sink in a little bit, right? When everybody else is doing it, so it's just interesting is all I'll say.
It was interesting this week. And again, if it's something that doesn't matter to you, it doesn't matter to you. I just noticed it. And I made note of those that did it. And again, generally speaking, it was the bigger journalists, the bigger professionals, who seemed to be awfully quiet this week, knowing full well that the community was all
they
diving
didn't want
into
to share
this.
their 5 hours played, right?
That's that's the perception that you will generate when you do something like that, when you ignore something that everybody's doing. And again, it's one thing if you never join in or chime in on the community, but it's another thing when you are constantly getting engagement from the community and you are farming that engagement when, again, it is valuable to you, or when you want to speak out about what the community is talking about and come down and say, oh, no, that's not how any of this works, guys. You guys don't know what this is all about up in the industry.
Is that a California accent?
Whatever it is, I don't know. I probably combined a bunch of them. I hear accents all day. But no, we don't have meetings. We don't discuss games together. We don't do any of that. We just play our games and give you our opinion, my fine chaps. This is the mentality that they have. And yet when something like this, again, in my mind, they're worried about the illusion of the man behind the curtain being shown again. They are worried that, because again, everybody has outside lives. We all do, some more than others and all sorts of in between. But if you're going to tell me that the only time you play a game is for your job, and that's what your stats would show, that you only played the games that you reviewed this year, and you spent no time outside of that work effort to play games, then I'm going to say you're part of that group that we've talked about a lot, Mav, that I honestly don't think enjoy this hobby anymore.
Yeah.
They might have at one time, but they no longer enjoy this hobby. They're here simply because they have a job in it. And the other group that got a job in this industry because they couldn't get a journalist job elsewhere. So gaming was wide open and growing. So they jumped in, but honestly, they don't have the passion for the industry either. So I think that there's a lot of that going on here. But again, it's no big deal, you guys. No big deal, you guys. I just noticed it this week a lot and was like, okay, that's great. Listen, Lore Master Jasper, member for 27 months, shows up and says, hard to post game stats when you only play Twitter. That is a fact as
or
well.
Make
and
controversial clickbait articles.
And let me tell you, the circus is not excused from this. There's a whole lot of console warriors out here who talk a whole lot of shit on Twitter. And those stats, I don't care what your real life's going on. You probably shouldn't have as big a mouth as you do. You really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. You don't have an interest in this industry either, other than the ego boost you get from riling people up or having people support and clap for you. Oh my God. Oh, we've got a new member to the Bomb Club, everybody. We got a new member to the Bomb Club. Choo choo, motherfuckers. That's right. Cedric H shows up in the house with another easy layup. Just a nice casual layup. on the breakaway with a nice little 5 bomb. That's right. The 5 bomb showed up. We are down to 856 is our goal, folks. 856 is your new number to avoid ads in the future. We appreciate all of you.
There's no goals. It's no goals.
Cedric H. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Thank you.
Thanks, Cedric. I appreciate it. We also got a couple super chats. John TJ hit us with a $2. Says,
oh, John TJ.
Hi,
good to see you, brother.
They should let us upgrade the Xbox.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. We are going to get into that in a little while. Stay High FFF with the $5 super chat says, Pong trying Divinity. Original sin. Never played a game like this, but I love it so far. Hashtag step outside your box. 100%. And
way to go.
To that point, there was somebody on social media that had shit talked the turn-based style of Baldur's Gate 3. Like, how does anybody find this fun? I guess they got enough backlash that they were like, okay, well, I'm going to go play this game. Well, turns out they actually fucking enjoyed it. So then they made a follow-up post being like, hey, you guys are actually right. I can enjoy this. I was wrong or whatever. Thanks for opening my eyes and stuff. So, you know, if you like Divinity Original Sin, then you will probably love Baldur's Gate 3 because it's made by the same developer, same style of game. It's just bigger and better, you know, in essence, right? So
it's a AAA versus a AA.
Yeah,
that's all it
and
is.
Divinity Original Sin, I fucking love both of those games. Absolutely amazing games. I think the second one's even better than the first, to me personally. But yeah, and they took another leap with Baldur's Gate.
You'll see a lot of Divinity Original Sin 2, a lot of the mechanics that they took and put into Baldur's Gate 3. They obviously took what they learned and just went to a whole nother level because of the backing that they got out of it and the time they had. That's all they did. That talent that Larian showed off at Baldur's Gate 3 has always been there. Yeah. If you played Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2, you know that for a fact, and I'm glad that other people are jumping in and experiencing it.
It's weird. It's weird how much like influence has an impact on what games people play and stuff, you know. Like it happens so much. Like people will just consider something as fact because a lot of people are talking about a certain aspect of something when they've never seen it for themselves or judged it for themselves and all that kind of stuff, right? That happened a lot with Starfield. People are still calling the game like not a success or like mid and stuff, and it's like, in what world is that a reality? But they've created this narrative in their minds. It's a reality, and that's the way they talk about it. So it kind of spreads around, and that becomes a perception, right? And if there enough people have a perception, then that's kind of what category it falls into for a lot of people without ever even seeing, playing, or acknowledging the game or like really giving it anything a try. A good example too is like Digital Foundry and the stuff that they do, right? Like Digital Foundry does like insane like deep dive like tech analysis type stuff, right? And honestly, I never watch any of their videos. Now I'm not diminishing the quality of what they do. And to some people that stuff really matters, right? But I've never been a person that will play a game and have an amazing experience and then go back and see a Digital Foundry video where they have analyzed that in one particular section of a game, there's this one moment where the game dropped 3 frames per second, and then it is subpar to another version of the game where in that same exact little section in that world, it didn't drop 3 frames per second. It's smooth 60 there, and it's like, all of a sudden you see like all these outrage posts and all these different things about stuff like that. And I'm like, played the whole fucking game, didn't even notice it. I would never notice it again, even if I was playing, because that's so like non affecting, you know, and at the end of the day, like was a great experience. So am I going to let this website tell me that my experience is inferior in any kind of way? No, because I have 2 fucking eyeballs and ears and hands. I can play the game, I can hear the game, and I can see the fucking game. I don't need somebody else to tell me about the fucking quality of it. I haven't watched the Forza versus GT7 video that they did, which everybody was talking about, right? Because they've been, highly anticipated. We got to finally get to this highly best breakdown of tech and stuff between Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport because it's the racing games, and we're really going to do this and really tell people what's 100% the best, right? And then they create this video, and all of a sudden you see creators and people out there being like, you know, gotta hand it, GT7's the better game, when they've been shit talking GT7, saying how shit it was for 2 fucking years. And now, just because Digital Foundry says it is better, it's like, gotta hand it to them. Yeah, Forza lost out on this one. And it's like,
graphically,
what? Like, I don't understand. I've been playing both games like quite a bit. I play GT7. I play Forza Motorsport. I have 2 fucking eyes. I have 2 ears. I have 2 fucking hands. I can feel how the game feels. I can hear how the game sounds. I can see how the game looks. I don't need some fucking guy to zoom in on a pixel super far away in the background to tell me, oh, you see that? They're like, that affects my fucking experience? No fucking way it doesn't. It doesn't affect anybody's experience, right? I can easily tell you 100% just by playing both games, easily the difference between the two. Forza, it handles better on track. It has better lighting with the realistic lighting, although sometimes it's a little too real because there's certain aspects within the lighting that makes things look a little wonky, right?
Washed out and everything else,
Then there's the tracks and the handling. Okay, the handling, 100%, no questions asked, is way fucking better in Forza Motorsport. The car details are also excellent in Forza Motorsport. Where Forza Motorsport lacks is in everything outside of the fucking track, right? GT7 shines when you're not on the track. GT7 has all the other bells and whistles with the UI, all the other things, the interface,
car models,
the car model, like all these other extras that you get. Like there's more to do when you're not fucking racing and appreciating the cars, right? Love it. I love that. I want Forza to do more of that kind of stuff as well, right? But when you're on the fucking track racing, there is no questions asked, especially in certain times of day and stuff, which game looks fucking better. And it's a simple eyeball test of playing one and then playing right after the other. You don't need special technology. You don't need to zoom in. You don't need any of this other shit to be able to just simply look at it and be like, oh, I can see that, right? Instead, I would trust somebody like Fuzzy Belvedere, who has over 2,000 hours in GT7, and then probably close to 1,000 hours already in Forza Motorsport because the guy's a fucking machine, and take that person's word for it over somebody like Digital Foundry, right? It's just like, all of a sudden, because they make this video, it becomes, well, that's reality, when these people that have played both games have been saying something different for 2 years about GT7. I don't understand how all of a sudden the whole thing is different because somebody else told you so. It doesn't make sense to me. It never will.
This is stuff that has been known, Mav. This is stuff that we've said here. Again, like you said, it doesn't take experts to know the difference. Sure, there are people out here who will deny till their dying breath that GT7 beats Forza in any shape or form. But as far as the most obvious, it's always been about the car models, and it's always been about the presentation. We've talked about that multiple. I haven't played GT since GT Sport. But even back then, the car models, the details on the car models, yes, are better in GT games. Does that matter when you're racing, which is the biggest portion of the game? No. But I was shocked today by some of the people who did exactly what you just said, man.
Yeah.
That had to have Digital Foundry say something. Again, this is what always makes me question people in this community, especially big timers in any community. But now that I'm a part of this one, how many masks are you wearing? How many times are you being real when you talk about this stuff? Because I can't believe some of the people that all of a sudden flipped and said, "Oh, well, I guess Digital Foundry proved me wrong." I turned 10. Get your shit together, turn 10.
Yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing?
we've been knowing for years that Turn 10 reuses their car models in a lot of cases. There are newer
That
cars
doesn't
and newer
happen
stuff.
in Gran Turismo. It
Right.
absolutely
It
fucking
does, absolutely does, but they have better details, right? They have better little
Yes.
details on the car. If you go zoom in on headlights and taillights and tailpipes and all that kind of stuff, will you see the difference? Absolutely. Is that what the fuck I'm doing when I'm playing Forza? Hell no, it isn't. I'm not doing that. So again, a simple video. And again, shout out to John Linneman. He decided to do this. I didn't watch the entire video, but I did watch portions of it. He did a great job as always, breaking it down the way that Digital Foundry does. This was not about which is the better racer. This was strictly about the graphics. That's all he did it on. Why he chose to do this, I have no idea. Again, who knows the true hearts of men?
It's what people look forward to. That's their big thing for
But
them.
obviously, look at what it drove today. But for all the people all of a sudden going, well, Digital Foundry told me today that everything that I thought was right was wrong. I guess I'm just completely wrong. Turn 10. Get your shit together. What?
Yeah.
What are we doing, folks? What are we doing? How many masks are you wearing when you put out some of this stuff? Again, I'm not sitting here judging you for what you do. You got to do what you got to do. You live it the way you want to live it. That's fine. But again, when people start questioning your credibility, I can't defend you. I can't. When I see this shit, I'm like, yeah, it's a little spooky, man.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky out here. But anyways, we got a $2 2-bomb from Takato. Thank you, Takato, for the 2-bomb. Hard to talk shit if you are busy gaming. Facts, Takato. Facts, and more freaking facts. Some people can do both. I will say there's some people who can do both, but my God, mostly that's right. And then Cedric H, he just did the layup with the 5-bomb. He decided to come back with a 20-bomb super chat. Thank you, Cedric H. Thank you again.
Super
Never
John.
expected, always appreciated out here. All of you, again, just showing up is appreciated. Being a part of our chat is appreciated. Lurking is appreciated in all shapes and forms. But Cedric, thank you for the 20 bomb, sir. Appreciate you. You actually sparked this old guy's memory because this was a point I meant to make in my small rant about what was going on this week. So thank you for reminding me again, and I'll end it with this too. The funny part of this is that the CEO games more than these so-called journalists. That was the other thing, Mav. Phil fucking Spencer. The dude is the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. Posted his stats. Had he posted his stats, Mav, and it said that he played 150 hours last year of games, right? None of us would have.
Dude's fucking crazy busy. You know what I mean?
Fighting ABK deal, traveling all over the world trying to cut new deals. The dude's running a multi-billion-dollar company. That wouldn't have shocked us in the least. It would have been cool as hell anyways had he posted those stats, because we know Phil does game more than any other probably gaming CEO out there, unless Doug Bowser's hiding the fact that he puts in a couple grand in hours. But Phil Spencer puts it out, and he's got over 900 hours in games. The man just hit level 100 in Diablo 4. How freaking cool is that? But the fact that Phil puts out his stats shows, and was going to be a part of my original thought, how well known it is that this is a community thing. Phil being the community guy, the Phil being that guy who is out here facing the face of the company of Xbox. He even understood that this was a thing in the community happening. And he goes ahead and posts his stats. But some big time professionals just couldn't do that. Just couldn't join in for whatever reason. So anyways, yeah, thank you, Cedric. I appreciate that, man. A lot for bringing that back up again. Yeah, Mav, I agree with you. Really weird stuff today with the Digital Foundry thing.
I'm not even trying to knock Digital Foundry for their video.
No, there's nothing to knock.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. Like, if that's their opinion, that's their analysis, that's their take, or whatever. That's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they looking at and analyzing everything. If they say that GT7 has better graphics or whatever, that's cool. Like, and that's due to their opinion on what they're analyzing, right? And at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like, it's an opinion, and it's their analysis of it. And then, for me playing both games, I can have my opinion. I'm not going to all of a sudden change my feeling and the way I think, because I've actually played both games and I've been playing both games
Yeah.
because of a Digital Foundry video, though. And that's the difference is like, well, I guess we see the proof is in the pudding now due to this expert breakdown on this, and it's like really affects my outcome and my thought process on this game. No, like you can fucking just play the game and you can have your own thought process and on it, right? Without letting somebody else decide because of some technology they're using or whatever to super analyze certain criterias and stuff. And I didn't even watch the video. I don't even know what they said. I don't really care because it has no impact on me, right? Like I personally find zero value in it. But these are also the same people that make these kind of things now about Forza versus GT7 or making these statements about Turn 10 and stuff that will complain and say that Xbox needs to do better or PlayStation needs to do or whatever when as a game drops 3 frames per second in a certain section of a game and the other version doesn't, when the game's been out for over a week and everybody's been playing it and nobody complained about performance issues at all, ever, like in some of these games, right? Then all of a sudden Digital Foundry videos will drop, a certain game will have like a dip in one little section or something that nobody ever fucking noticed when they played it. These people may have played this same section as well in this game and never fucking noticed, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, they really got to do better. Yeah, this is like, what is the deal with games running better on certain platforms than others? Why does this keep happening? Xbox needs to do better and create this whole narrative of stuff on a situation that didn't even fucking exist without a Digital Foundry video, right? Like that is the power of those videos and the influence they have on people's mindsets about superior, inferior products and all these kind of things. And I'll tell you the secret, everybody. Every fucking game is pretty much going to run slightly different on every fucking platform they're on. That's just what it is. Some games may have perfect performance, right? But that is not most games. Most games don't have absolutely perfect performance. I would love to live in a world where every game has fucking perfect performance. It's just not the world we live in. Because apparently making video games is hard and all this kind of stuff, right? That's what we keep hearing, right?
Yeah.
So if a game has one dip in a little section and doesn't on another, am I going to freak out and say how bad it is? No. If Digital Foundry says a certain game they like the graphics better in than another one, am I going to say all of a sudden it's better? No. Because I personally have played those things, right? So it's just like weird. The amount of influence. It kind of tells you, like, when we play those leaked documents all came out from PlayStation and stuff, like how bad it would be if Digital Foundry said that the game performed better on Xbox. Remember that? And it's like, wow, it's like the influence of that is just absolutely fucking insane, man. And it's for people that you would not expect it from, that should know better. You know,
but that shows man, that's part of the reason why we talk about this. Like people always say, like, who gives a fuck about Metacritic? Who cares about what the reviewers say? Why do you guys talk about what the reviewers say? Why do you guys complain about, you know, these reviews about Starfield, right? And that kind of stuff. Why? Because we see people being influenced who shouldn't be influenced within this community or who should know better, right? What do you think that does to the masses? Xbox is now putting Metacritic scores up on their games in the stores because it does have influence. So when you come to our shows specifically, I only speak for us because I know how Mav feels now that I've podcasted him for 3 years and we're so much in alignment. So I'm only speak for us here. But when you hear us talking about that stuff as personal gamers, we've said this plenty of times, it doesn't fucking matter to us. Like Mav just said, he doesn't give a shit what the Digital Foundry thinks. He doesn't give a shit what a Metacritic score is. It's not going to make him enjoy a game more or enjoy a game less. It's all about his personal experience. That's how we all feel in the Fun Speculation family. When you come here and hear us talking about the Xbox tax or whatever you want to call it, when you hear us talking about this stuff, why we talk about it, because it does have a wider influence, whether we like it or not, whether we think it should or not, whether most of our community, our chat knows better, that none of that shit makes any difference. At the end of the day, we're see it live happening. It does affect people. It does make a difference. And again, if it's something that we enjoy, it's something that we want to do better, we want more of, we want another game, right? We want more of that thing that we enjoy, then yeah, we're going to talk about some of the unfairness that we do see.
Yeah, and when you talk positive about those things, sometimes they go, "Oh, you're capping," or you're like, "No, it's just my fucking feelings on the game." Like, what am I gonna go in and try and find things to complain about for the fucking sake of it? Like, there's plenty of stuff I complain about when it's right there blaring in front of your face. You want to talk about performance issues? Go back and watch my stream when I was trying to fucking play Jedi Survivor at launch. Oh my God. You know, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Everybody, like, it got 9s across the board. How the hell did this happen? You know, it's like, I'm like, what fucking world do we live in where this is the acceptance of greatness, right? And now I'm not saying it's a bad game, but like other games were knocked for similar things, but for some reason they pick and choose. So it's like, yeah, I got caught up in the FOMO with that game, and I'm going to be like, you know what? Like, this is kind of bullshit. You know, this game shouldn't have launched this way, right? And it's like, there's certain times where, you know, you got to speak your mind and stuff if something's bothering you, but like sometimes, you know, for the sake of being even or balanced or whatever, some people just overcompensate a little bit. I feel like to try and make sure that they seem, you know, fair and unbiased and critical, and it's just like, just fucking, like, if you like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's just pretty much as simple as that. We got a couple more membership things going here, bro.
We do. Wait, do a couple more. I see.
Yeah, we have anonymous
boss. Anonymous boss trying to come in here and dominate. You just hanging back this whole time? You just loading up the bombers? You just loading up the bombers on the side going, oh, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until things quiet down. And I'm going to come on in here. And you know what? I'm going to tease him. I'm going to come in and drop a single bomb. I'm just going to drop a single bomb. Choo-choo, motherfucker. You dropped a single bomb. You got us up to Mach 2.1 right now. That's right. The hype train is rolling. The flames are flying. We are on a crash course with hype right now. That's how this sub train's rolling tonight, folks. That's right. A nice easy layup from Anonymous Boss, but then didn't even give us a chance to shout him out for his single bomb. You know, he says, oh, wait. No. I got a whole 10 bomb waiting for you guys. That's right. Anonymous Boss flies overhead. The stealth bomber. We didn't hear him coming. Next thing you knew, the explosions were everywhere. That's right. Boom, 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 boom. That's right, choo-choo, motherfuckers. The 10 bomb just dropped on all of our heads. Thank you, Anonymous Boss. We are now down to 836, folks. No, wait, 835. Excuse me with the single. 835.
Are you actually have this, like, keeping track?
It's in my head. I've probably screwed up once or twice. Don't get me wrong. I mean, again, but I'm close. 835 is the goal. And again, who cares? Other people change the goal right on screen as they hit. So, you know, yeah, whatever. If in the next hour I say it's 9:16, who's going to complain? Whatever. 835 is where it's at right now, folks, to keep ads off this channel. Let's do this. We all hate ads. Let's go. Spartan 661. What are you doing, Spartan 661? Thank you. Spartan 661 says, oh, I'll take that layup. And I'll go ahead and double it. No, he's not adding to the sub train, but that doesn't matter. All of this goes towards the ultimate goal of keeping ads off this channel. That's right. He comes in with a 10 bomb super chat. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Even though it's not a part of the sub train, I'm still going to give you a choo-choo, motherfucker, because I'm feeling it right now. You guys are crazy out here right now. $10 super chat. Hey, Pong Soul, just letting you know, when you announce the people in the chat, it does make us feel recognized in the chat. I want to say thank you for making us feel welcome. Mav, you are awesome too. Not only with the 10 bomb, but he comes in with the kind words. And again, the other nonsense aside, means the world. Okay, all of you mean the world to us. There is no show without all of you. That's why I always say you guys are just as important. You guys just being here and just doing this fun with us, that's what it's all about. That's why Mav started this channel. That's why I got into podcasting. Again, this goes into the whole thing. You guys are a big part of the entire family here on Fun Speculation Network. Thank you for that, Spartan. Appreciate it so much, man. Hits home. Thank you. All right. Mav, let's do a shout out to the chat because we've got a lot of awesome, amazing people. And then we're going to talk about factions. I know you all been waiting for it. We are going to talk about the factions news that just dropped prior to us going live. Crazy. Not unexpected, but crazy. All the same. Oh, wait a minute. Decado says, wait, Pong, I just heard you're going to shout at the chat. Now, I'm not going to let you do that, bro. I'm not going to let you do that, man. You are not done with the sub train. Choo-choo, motherfucker. That's right. We are riding this way all to Hype Town. That's right. We are going to smash through Hype Town. That's right. Another easy 10 layup from Decado. The 10 bomb comes overhead, lays it up and in, and we are rolling. Mach 2.5 at this moment. We might just blow through Hype Town, headed on to Speculation Town. We're going to blow through that freaking stop too. Listen, y'all, Decado, 10 bomb. Thank you, brother. If anybody feels like matching, you're more than welcome to match it. It's an easy layup. Just to match it. If you want to just do a single, you want to do a 5, man, I'll give you the layup. You want to do a 20 with the alley-oop dunk, like the two-handed Shaq smash? We take those too. We take it all here. If you want to hit that like button, smash that like button, right? If you want to share this out, share it out. Wink, wink. It all helps. Wink, wink. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Mav, do you know how
we got
the sub train?
There's one more too.
Now, Sidious. Welcome to the Speculators. Sidious says, I heard you say it was going to be an easy layup, and I saw the wide open net. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come in here with the single. Guess what, Sidious? Appreciate you, choo-choo, motherfucker. Thank you for joining the sub train. We just added 5 more cars to the back to make sure that we got enough room. We might have to make a stop. at the next station and say, guess what? We need another 10 cars because the sub train is getting full around here. Sidious, thank you so much for that, brother. Appreciate you. You know what? The sub train's gotten rolling so much, Mav.
Yeah.
That the wife who subbed to us got an email that said, welcome to the Speculators.
Are you serious? Oh, so
she
funny.
sent me the other day. I was dying laughing, man. Thank you all, one and all. Let's get a shout out to this chat. I've named off a lot of you guys tonight because you guys have been absolutely incredible as always. Week in, week out, you're showing up here. What are we at right now? We're like, again, we're over 200 right now live. Thank you all for being here. Lewis, Jose is in the house. We got ScorpÃ in the house. We got Mitchy Pooh. Thank you all for joining us. We got RDM in the house. What's going on, RD? We got the OCDgamer. What's going on, OCD? We got Ray Oid in the house. We got Talos Ray dropping on by and saying hi. What's going on, Talos? We got Roshan Eppinger in the house as always. Thank you for joining our show tonight. We got Anonymous Boss in the house. What's going on, Anonymous? We got the one and only Jigga J in here. What's going on, Jigga? We got, of course, the now world famous Decado in the house. What's going on, Decado? Thank you so much. And we got Rainbolt coming through as well. Rainbolt, great to see you. We got Nathan Hardman. Thank you for dropping on in here into our chat. The Spartan 661, of course, is here. We already knew that. He made himself known. We got the Spider-Man 356 dropping in here. What's going on, Spider-Man? Always great to see you. We got Rellskee in the house. What's going on, Rellskee? We got a Mitt Kumar in here. A Mitt Kumar. What's going on, Mitt? We got Leonard Herrera. What is going on, Leonard? Great to see your name dropping in here. We got the brother from another. We got the one, the only Dev himself. 3-Bit is in here. What's going on, 3-Bit? Matt forgot to include him as a part of our family. I will not forget to say your name tonight. Yeah. It's not the first time.
Bad. I swear to God, 3-Bit, your name was there. And then totally I added one more, and then somehow it got deleted. I swear to God, I double checked. Mm-hmm.
Mav may not appreciate you, 3-Bit, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here tonight. Who else? We got the beautiful Miss Kaitlin, who does all the work on this show to make it look beautiful, shares it out, everything she does for this channel. Thank you, Kaitlin. Plus, she makes Mav incredible meals on top of it. Just an awesome job, Kaitlin. Thank you so much. We got Sidious, of course, made himself known. What's going on, Sidious? We got the Ghost Fixter in the house. Going on, Ghost Fixter. Who else we got in here? We got Moby. Wait, oh, these are gifted memberships. I'll name off the gifted memberships anyways. We got Carlos Thompson in here. We got Mr. Rizzo. We got James Smothers. We got Justin Duell. We got Moby. We got Prime 187. We got Marcus B. We got Dyslexopedia in the house. What's going on? We got T2 Comic Books overviews in here. What's going on? Great to see you. Thank you for joining. We got 9 Lives 210 in the house. We got Masshole 1977 joining the chat. Thank you guys. We got What Just Happened in the house. What's going on? What just happened? Who else we got in here? We got Saint Reborn 311. What is going on, Saint Reborn? We got the one and only Sappho in the house. Great to see you, Sappho. We got E-Ranks here. What's going on, E-Ranks? We got Nicholas Lund dropping in and saying hi. We got the Meek B2G coming in here. What's going on, Meek? Who else we got in here? We got Captain Crunch in the house, one of my favorite cereals, underrated. What's going on, Captain? We got, of course, the world famous Bold Alpha Wolf Pack. What's going on, Bold? Great to have you in here. Thank you so much, sir. Who else we got in here? We got James Essick. Oh, wait, got James X in the house. James X, what's going on? We got Duke Togo 13. Sup to you. We got John 907I in the house. What's going on, John? We got, of course, the one and only Web Dave in the house. Web, always good to see you, brother. We got RGN Raw Gaming News in the house. What's going on, RGN? Thank you for dropping by and saying hi. We got the amazing Charlie Hustle in the house. What's going on, Charlie? We got the Green Goblin here. What's going on, Green Goblin? Man, it's crazy to see how many people are members now. It's freaking insane.
Yeah.
It's just going through and seeing green. We got It's TiMMEH. It's Timmy's in the house. What's going on? It's TiMMEH. Always great to see you, brother. We got the one and only Pixel Slapper in the house. Great to see you, Pixel. We got God Emperor Sofa King here. Yes, that's right, God Emperor. Thank you for dropping in here. Who else? We got man, holy cow, you guys have been crazy. Frizzle. I don't know if I said your name, but Frizzle's here. What's going on, Frizzle? I think I did say your name earlier, but great to have you a part of our show. We got PS5 Blows. All right. Tell us how you feel. PS5 Blows. Thank you for joining the chat. Appreciate you being here. Who else we got in the house here? Burp, burp, burp. I can't even read comments because otherwise I'll freaking not ever get through this. We got Mozam Chic. Yeah, in the house. What's going on, Mozam Chic? Loved seeing your name, man. Great to have you a part of our show. We got Leroy Jenkins in the house. What's going on, Leroy? Who else we got? We got the Beer Baron, of course, coming on through. He's always got an extra couple kegs for everybody in the chat. So hit the Beer Baron up for one of those red solo cups, everybody. Get one of those. Who else we got in here? We got Nam Omar in the house. What's going on, Nam? Always great to have you joining the show. We got a couple more. Let's see. We got some more memberships. No Sirs in the house. The Mr. Nilick is here. We got the Young Hebrew. We got Mr. Joanna Dark getting that membership. What's up? We got Post Up, another great member of the community getting that membership. We got Mythic Rusty in here. We got Jorge Moreno. We got Mohamed Diallo. We got Scott Diaz. I'll go with Scott Diaz. I almost said something else there, but great to see you, Scott. Who else? We got Alvin. I can't even do it anymore. My voice is losing out here. Alvin, what's going on? We got Nino Vostik in the house. We got what just happened. I already said what just happened, but I'll give you a second shout out. Who else? Vic, the motherfucking click. Choo choo, motherfucker, to you, Vic. What's going on? Great to have you in here. Let me see who I missed in the bottom. That's as far as I can go to the top. Sorry if I missed you guys. Cyber Gunter 81. What's going on? We got the Polly Baba in the house. What's going on, Polly? Who else we got in here? I think Stash Gordon, what's going on, Stash? Joshua Erickson, great to see you joining our show. Tom from Toonami's in the house. What's going on, Tom? Great to have you in here as well. Of course, the Chris Jones is in here. What's going on, Chris Jones? We got the Grunge Head in the house. What's going on, Grunge Head? Stay High FFF. What's going on? Arthur 1, I see you. Thank you for joining us. I think I got soul. Thank you for letting us know, and I appreciate you dropping in here. Let's see who else I got in here. Anybody else?
There's a celebrity
in here.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins. I said that earlier, but I didn't do it very well. Leroy,
Okay.
what's going on? We got Leonard Herrera in here. Base Digi. I was just saying your name. Thank you for dropping on in here. Appreciate you so much. Froggy T White is in the house. We got Mr. Waffles in the house. What's going on, Waffles? We got Verg Brizzle in the house. What's going on, Verg? Great to see you in here as well. Hope you're all enjoying the benefits of being fun speculators right now. We got Juan Guillermo. We got Zodiac V3, WeP 2010, Max 380. They all got gifted memberships. And my brother from another fun speculation didn't want to be left out. He said, you know what? I might be the conductor of this whole damn subtrain. I might be the main CEO who actually owns the whole rail line that you guys are all riding right now at Mach 2.7 at this point. But he said, you know what? That doesn't matter. I'm going to buy 5 more people a ticket. That's right. I'm going to get 5 more people on board. So he comes in and he drops a 5 bomb. Thank you, Mav. Choo choo, motherfucker. That's right. Mav is in the house with the 5 bomb, giving everybody a layup to follow suit if you so choose to do. KT the GOAT is here. I see you. Ghost Fixer, I think I already got you, but if I didn't, Ghost Fixer's in the house. What's going on, Ghost? All right.
Neo, we got Neo in the chat too. Neo GameSpark, one and only.
Holy shit. What is Neo GameSpark doing here? Blade himself is in the chat, everybody. Blade himself. This is the man that Arcane is modeling their blade after. If you look closely, you can see it. He doesn't hide it. He posts workout videos showing how in shape he is, how big his shoulders are. He's got action figure shoulders. I've told him that before. Neo GameSpark, aka the one and only Arcane Blade, is in the house. What's going on? He might be going for the movie
Shout out
too.
to the Daywalker.
Rumor is. Shout out to the Daywalker.
Neo, you gotta show up on your next stream with the fucking trench coat and like black trench coat, black
the glasses.
shades. Yeah,
Yes.
come on, man.
Yes.
You gotta go all out.
Yes.
Let's do
Oh
it.
man, perfect.
Take
Perfect.
You get a sword, you know.
Look at all those look at all the
blood on
blades going up in the chat. Love it. Shout out to Blade in the chat. We just know you're gonna do a great job. Low key, I might have to, Mav. He says yes.
Absolutely.
Not low key, high key. High key, you have to do it. All right.
I mean, it's
Black
weird.
Power Day, I see you in here.
Neo GameSpark's got his own emoji in our channel now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's how much we love you, Neo.
Yeah, I mean, look at all those Neos right there. It's crazy, insane. I've never seen Neo's face this much over and over again.
I love it. I love it. All right, Mav, let's get in the main start the main crux of the show. Just over an hour and 20 in here, so let's do that. All right.
Shit.
You guys are all crazy. Again, nothing, all seriousness, nothing but love and respect to each and every single one of you dropping by tonight. It's freaking amazing to watch this happen. This channel's growth has been absolutely phenomenal. It's all because of you guys, and it's such a great community right now. It's just so much positivity and coolness out here. But let's get in the main crux, man. Let's get into the big breaking factions news. Shout out to my brother Steel Rain, who's probably in mourning right now.
Yeah.
He was legit. This is the one game that was going to get him to buy a PS5. He was a huge factions player back in the day. He has been waiting for them to fulfill the promise now, for what, 4 years, 5 years now in the making. And he was, I wouldn't say he was holding on to hope. He knew reality, what it being that it probably wasn't going to happen anymore. But shout out to everybody who was looking forward to Factions 2. Naughty Dog, before we went live, put out an official blog post today and says this: an update on The Last of Us Online. It goes in. We realize many of you have been anticipating news around the project that we've been calling The Last of Us Online. When did we ever hear they were calling it The Last of Us Online, Mav? It was always Factions.
I think the last time they talked about it, they were kind of referencing that they were like maybe not going to run with factions. Yeah, potentially. Okay. I think they're trying to distance themselves away from it.
Well, there was, if that's true, mistake number one. Anyways, okay, The Last of Us Online. There's no easy way to say this. We've made the incredibly difficult decision to stop development on that game. We know this news will be tough for many, especially our dedicated The Last of Us Factions community who have been following our multiplayer ambitions ardently. We're equally crushed at the studio as we were looking forward to putting it in your hands. Obviously not enough. We wanted to share with you some background of how we came to this decision. The multiplayer team has been in pre-production with this game since we were working on The Last of Us Part 2. Crafting experience we felt was unique and had tremendous potential. As the multiplayer team iterated on the concept for The Last of Us Online during their time, their vision crystallized. The gameplay got more refined and satisfying, and we were enthusiastic about the direction in which we were headed. What happened? Anybody? What happened? Are you going to name names? Let's find out. In ramping up to full production, the massive scope of our ambition became clear. To release and support The Last of Us Online, we have to put all of our studio resources behind supporting post-launch content for years to come, severely impacting development on future single-player games. So we had two paths in front of us: become a solely live service game studio, or continue to focus on single-player narrative games that have defined Naughty Dog's heritage. So you're telling me Sony didn't want to back your studio and grow organically so that you could support both, is what you're saying here. So Bungie came in and said not good enough, and Sony said we're not cutting checks to grow your studio. Is that what we're getting at here, folks? This is what I'm hearing. It's a little strange.
It's like Sony wanted the live service but didn't want to fund the live service.
Oh, wait, it's really hard to do this, Mav?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, games like Halo Infinite just don't naturally become successful overnight?
Nope.
Like it's not easy doing single player and multiplayer at the same time? Crazy. We're immensely proud of everyone at the studio that touched this project. The learnings and investments in technology for this game will carry into how we develop our projects and will be invaluable in the direction we are headed as a studio. We have more than one ambitious brand new single player game that we're working on here at Naughty Dog, and we cannot wait to share more about what comes next when we're ready. Until then, we're incredibly thankful to our community for your support throughout the years. Short and sweet, to the point, except they didn't name Bungie as the killer. It was Bungie with the candlestick in the bedroom. They didn't do that, but interesting comments, Mav. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this, Mav? Sony or Naughty Dog finally admitting that they are killing off The Last of Us Online, or Factions 2, as most people knew it.
Oh man, I blame Sony.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like, here's the thing, right? When things go wrong, there's two ways of handling it, right? You can buckle down and get it right. And remember, this was a part of a product that people were expecting when they purchased it. Like, this was advertised to be coming out with The Last of Us Part 2.
Correct.
This was supposed to be part of it. This was announced as part of the game. Yeah, then it was delayed, and people were like, oh, okay, it was delayed past launch. Okay, we'll be fine. We're going to wait, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. Then it's like, where is it, right? Where is it? PlayStation fans were like, oh, we'll just be patient. It's going to be, everything's going to be cool, whatever. This fanboys and stuff, like, they're saying, well, they got to make it right and stuff. We'll wait. Because it's going to be fire. It's going to be the best shit ever, right? And we're like, where the fuck is it? Why aren't they talking about it? Then, like, what is it, like a year later, we finally get a piece of fucking concept art at the Game Awards or whatever? And it's like, yeah, yay, they finally gave us concept art? That's where they're at with this? And then they kind of talk, oh, but we're going bigger than we ever imagined, right? Oh, yeah, sure. That's why you only had concept art to show at the time, right? Because you're going big. Then, radio silence. Now, you hear all these things going on within Sony behind the scenes about how they were all going all in on games of service for a long time, and now they're pulling back from it. Layoffs at Bungie, Bungie missing targets, all these kind of things, right? Other studios moving on from things. And now it turns out Naughty Dog wasn't even prepared to be able to continue their other projects if they were going to be making Factions, right? How the fuck does that happen? How does Sony not have the foresight to not realize this? They were the ones that were pushing for this big live service type game. All they had to do is release a regular fucking multiplayer like they did in the PS3 era for Last of Us Part 1. That's all anybody ever was fucking expecting, was a better version of that. They've already been able to deliver on that before. You can't just start with that and grow from there. Nobody's expecting the fucking world-changing biggest multiplayer ever, especially from Sony, who doesn't make multiplayer for shit. They don't make any fucking multiplayer games, hardly. And the people aren't going to expect that to blow their fucking mind to be this fully content complete live service, like roadmap shit. Like, people just wanted factions. Make it successful and then grow it from there. You can actually have a success, then invest in that team and grow that team organically to meet the demands of the fucking game. And you can do that. But instead, they were like, oh, let's not just do that. Let's go balls to the wall. But, oh, wait, we have no fucking foresight to even know what this fucking means. To realize that a live service game is going to take years and years of support and the team to work on it? Like, of course it is. Of course it is. And how are you going to not give people what you fucking promised? The reality is this is more of a scam than the day before, because the day before actually launched. This is like fucking Sony stole your money. They fucking false advertised, failed to release the full product that they promised you from the get-go, and they get a fucking free pass on this? Not from me. Not from me. I will not support this. I will not say, oh, it's cool, you guys, you know, well, at least we get more of your single-player games. Sony just fucked the community. They fucked everybody that bought Last of Us Part 2 that were expecting to get this multiplayer component as part of the promised game. And, you know, 2 years later, nobody's going to care. You know, 2 years later, oh, they're going to forget about it. Hey, they're just going to be happy now because we can make single-player games again, right? No. You fucking sold that shit. Stand behind it. Stand behind it. You know what, Sony? If you can't get Naughty Dog to do it, you go get another fucking team to support it. You go get another team to do it. That's what Microsoft would do. Oh, you don't have the pockets for that? I thought you were fine. I thought everything was great. I thought you wanted to invest in multiplayer games. I thought you wanted to grow live service. I thought you wanted to expand and do variety. What, you can't afford it? Oh, shit. What's happening? I thought your model was the right way. I thought your model was the best way to do things. Turns out, fucking wrong. When we give games like Halo such shit when they were behind on content, at least they finally fucking delivered everything and more that they promised on that fucking game. Like other live service games, when they flounder sometimes out the gates. It's how you respond to that and how you keep adding to it that can make or break these fucking games, right? Sony's too chicken shit to even go in the first place. We questioned if they were going to have the balls for this or the stomach to be able to actually realize what it takes to make these bigger kind of experiences other than a 20-minute start-to-finish type game. A 20-hour, I mean, sorry, not minute. But turns out, no. Right now, they don't. What's going to happen to Marathon? What's going to happen to Concord? What's going to happen to Fair Games? When they realize that these teams are going to have to be all in on this for fucking years, what if they're not successful when they come out? What if they aren't making the money that they need? What if it's a Bungie situation like Destiny, right? Where they're not meeting their quota. Are they just going to fucking crumble and fold? Or are they going to make these games good over time? What are they going to do to those games? Sony don't got the stomach for it, man. They had the wrong plan from the get-go. They don't even know how to start before they don't even know how to walk before they can fucking run, bro. Like, just fucking walk before you run. Like, people want to see you walk with this shit first. People want to see them be able to make a multiplayer experience that is good before you go all in and turn Naughty Dog into a fucking multiplayer-only studio. Nobody was asking for that. Of course that was a dumb idea. Of course Naughty Dog wouldn't want to do that. You go and fund the extra components you need to make that shit happen. This is a travesty. This is bullshit. This is like worse than Scalebound situation. Like all the shit they got when the Platinum Games stole Microsoft's money and like didn't make the game that they were supposed to be making and shit, and they got canceled, right? It was like, we were all like, oh my god, this is so horrible. Like, because there's not as many games on Xbox, and this is one that people were looking for, and now it's canceled and shit. At least you didn't fucking buy it. This game people actually bought and still didn't get what they're promised. A couple years later. It's horseshit. Honestly, as consumers should be fucking outraged about this. Like, you can't get away with it. Like, you shouldn't be able to get away with it. It's false advertising. It just flatly is. Like, it's false advertising. It's lying to the consumers. They should get sued over this. I actually feel that way. It was advertised as part of the game, and now it's not fucking happening. So, and they can try and twist it however they want, but I honestly feel that way.
It does speak to the stuff that we talked about when it comes to Sony, Mav. Like you just said, do they have the balls to do this? Have they painted themselves into this corner where they are scared to even do something small multiplayer, to start something small multiplayer wise and try to grow it? As we've seen, obviously, many different examples, especially on the Xbox side of it happening. Are they scared? Do they believe because they have, number one, preached and hypnotized their hardcore fan base, their enthusiasts, to believe that they're the premium experience? Number two, that the premium experience is a single player, narrative focused, movie like third person game. And they understand that they really don't have a base that has open arms to multiplayer overall, unless it's your Call of Duty, unless it's your Maddens, stuff like that, your 2Ks. Have they painted themselves in this corner where they believe that they have to come out the gate with whatever project it is, and it's got to be big, it's got to be massive, it's got to be balls to the wall, multiplayer experience that they think is undeniable to their fans? I think that's where they're at. I think that they have gotten to the point where they think that everything has to be big or go home. And that's going to be a massive problem for them.
Yeah. That's why I hope Helldivers 2 is successful, right? Like, maybe it'll show them, like...
But they already have examples. I don't even know if anything will show them, man, because they have plenty of examples. They just have to look across the fence to find examples of how to do this. Yeah. Again, this is not some new realm. Like, just because Sony decided to ignore this and rely on third parties for over a generation to develop multiplayer games for their ecosystem doesn't mean that they don't have any examples. This is normal now. Multiplayer modes are normal. Again, I've given them their flowers for adding stuff like the free Valhalla DLC for God of War, roguelike. They did it. They did their $10 add-on for The Last of Us, roguelike mode, right? That kind of stuff. That's all cool. That's all great. I'm glad you guys are doing something different to increase engagement on those games. Because if you look at the most played games over on Sony, where are the first party titles? They missing. Why? Because, and this is not slander, I don't know why people decide this is slander. This is a truth. For the vast majority of PlayStation players who play their exclusive games, their single player exclusive games, they are one and done games. They are over with in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks max. And then they're back to playing Call of Duty. They're back to playing Madden. They're back to playing 2K. They're back to playing whatever other games are out there. They're not playing their exclusives for long periods because those games don't generate that engagement. So they got to do something. But that's why they were looking for this multiplayer stuff. And again, I will say it. I've said it time and time again when we discuss this. You have one of your biggest IPs, one of your biggest franchises in The Last of Us. You already have a leg up interest-wise and hype-wise by using that. Even if Factions, the original one, never turned into the biggest multiplayer game, it certainly had developed a hardcore core base of fans. And those fans were hungry. And those fans would have promoted the shit out of whatever you guys were doing with The Last of Us Online. And then on top of it, you have that name attached to it. And you've only grown that fan base from The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us 2. You've got the TV show. You've got so many advantages to launch it. Even if it isn't perfect, even if it isn't, we see some problems here and there. Bungie came in and said, oh, this ain't going to last. We don't have the team to continue content. Your audience is used to zero content from y'all. If you even give them a little bit of content on a multiplayer game, they're going to be happy. You have to show up first, worry about the rest later. You got to start somewhere. If you're ever going to jump in this, you can't keep continuing to dip your toe in the deep end and say, someday I'm going to fucking swim. You ain't ever going to fucking swim until you jump in. And you had one of the best IPs you could have tried this with. Even if it wound up not being as successful or even any amount of success in your eyes or anybody else's eyes, the fact that it exists would give you a chance. Because you could have worked on content slowly. You could have built up the team over time to get content out. And guess what? Your fan base still would have been there because it's the freaking Last of Us. I don't know why this is, again, I'm not in boardroom meetings. I'm not sitting around in strategy meetings. I don't know what all the conversations are behind the scenes. I can only go by what we're being told, but I don't understand why some of these basic ideas or common sense is just ignored. Like, I don't know where you guys look in this industry. You've got to try something. And yes, you have other things coming down the pipeline, but you've already canceled 4 or 5 of those dozen multiplayer games as a service that Jim was touting. We don't know how many because we haven't got an official word on a couple of them, but it's got to be 4 or 5 at this point you've canceled. That's not trying. Because Jim told you the reason why we had 10 to 12 is because we know that only 1 or 2 are going to hit. Well, keep canceling them before they even show up. They got no chance. I don't think Sony has the balls to do this. Yeah. I don't think they have the infrastructure. Naughty Dog admitted that. I don't think I'm saying anything crazy there. Naughty Dog, if you're going to take their words at face value of what they just released, they don't have the infrastructure. Sony isn't willing to invest in that infrastructure.
Yeah.
Why is that? Obviously, a lot of people will say that financial problems. A lot of people will say that they're spreading themselves too thin with VR, with all these other things they got going on. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's something different. But again, Naughty Dog say it themselves. We'd have to have a whole team dedicated to this. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. What? Did you guys just wake up? All the cool words you used in there, all the great adjectives that you used in that to describe what you thought you were building, and you guys all said it was fantastic internally. It was this great thing that you could go in. It was massive. It was big. It was great. But you just woke up one morning and said, oh, shit. We're going to need people to continuously work on this games as a service, which is a continuing, ongoing game. Is that management problems? Is that mismanagement? Is that poor planning? Or is it something deeper? Is it that the higher ups came in and said, yeah, no, we're not going to support this kind of project anymore? This isn't the one. Is it because Bungie told the higher ups this ain't the one? We don't ever know. We'll never know. But again, I just don't think they got the balls to do it, man. I don't.
Yeah, it's, I think, too like risky for them. Too risk. It's, and they're like, can you imagine how much time they just wasted in development time? They wasted in money. They just wasted resources without any kind of return. And that must have been like a difficult decision to like cut bait on this entirely. Like, well, we just done fucked up for a few years. We're just going to have to move on from it. You know, right. It put them behind probably with whatever their next project would be as well. Right. Like, this is what we kind of talked about when they kind of went all in, when they talked about the 10 to 12 games at first. And we're like, how are they going to do that with the way their studios are kind of set up, you know?
Yeah.
and we now are seeing kind of the ramifications of that kind of decision. In the past we criticized Ubisoft of similar type things, right?
Yep.
And then we saw a lot of the kind of behind the scenes articles and interviews from Sony, and it was like, well, they're kind of doing some of that right now. It's like remember they actually said they were turning all of their big IP into multiplayer games of service games, right? They actually said that, and it's like, do people want that? Like, are people excited for a fucking Horizon games as a service multiplayer game? Like,
not what we saw leaked, they weren't.
Like, who's really like clamoring for that, right? And we criticize them because they have the fucking IP and the games in their vault that they can bring back to do it with if you just start. But you know what? It takes maybe getting a studio that's more focused on multiplayer and starting somewhere, right? Like SOCOM, you could bring back Killzone even and try and turn it into something finally that's good multiplayer wise. You could do like a Resistance and try and add some stuff to that. You have so many different things they could run with, right? But instead they're like, oh, we're gonna do all of our big IPs or big now, like Last of Us or Factions or like Horizon and all these things.
We got the rumor this way, real quick, man. We got the rumor because I want you to add this in there because we did get the rumor this week, right? That Insomniac is doing Into the Spider-Verse multiplayer game for Spider-Man, right? That we are going to continuously get Spider-Man games, and one of them is going to be a multiplayer based upon the Spider-Verse, right? So if that is the case, that's when we're really going to see the rubber hit the road. Because if they cancel that map, if it comes out that they are developing and they cancel that Spider-Man multiplayer, something that we've been saying they should have put in Spider-Man 2 all along, if they cancel that, then I really got to question what the hell Sony's doing here, because that's your two biggest IP. You're naming all this other great IP, and we've talked about all this great IP that's sitting in the closet somewhere just waiting to be developed that Sony, for whatever reason, just won't pull out and try. But if they cancel both the Last of Us multiplayer and then we find out that sometime down the road that they never followed through with the Spider-Man multiplayer, there's bigger questions to be asked here about exactly what's going on. Could this be a change at the top? Could this be, again, I know people said no way, and they're going to have some investment in this, but could they be lessening their development strategy as far as games as a service multiplayer goes now that Jim's on his way out the door is another question to be asked. But yeah, Matt, continue with your talk there, because you were naming a bunch of great IP, talking about how they just need to try something finally once.
Yeah, I mean, and like it seems like they kind of had the wrong idea and the mindset to begin with. They were just focusing on like, what are our biggest brands and what's popular now, and let's make those, and then we're going to invest in these other new studios that are coming in with these brand new things that are very samey to other things that are out there as well, right? So you have like Fair Games and Concord and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, but you already have Marathon coming too, and you know what I mean? It's like, and there's like the finals just came out. It's another one. You already have other games that have already launched. You have the First Descendants coming as well. Like these are like games that are being made from lots of different studios that are kind of similar to these other new games that they seem like they're trying to like invest in. And it was like, why not do the shit that that has a fan base where people have been clamoring for so long, and just make sure you do the shit right? Like, invest in those things, bring the teams in that would be passionate and excited to work on those kind of projects, and go big. And like, they used to have better multiplayer experiences back in the day when their services weren't even as good for online. Like, even in the PS3 era, right? They had more good multiplayer experiences, even though PlayStation Network in of itself was a fucking joke, right? Like, but the game still had better fucking multiplayer than they have now, because they abandoned it last generation.
Yep.
They pretty much abandoned multiplayer last gen, right? So like, I do think Insomniac could do something with the Spider-Verse game. I mean, they have track record with the Sunset Overdrive doing the co-op with that and stuff, so like they have experience with it, so I think it'd be possible for them to have some good luck there, and that would be obviously one that a lot of people will play for sure. So that's going to be a slam dunk game either way, if it ever does come out, or if it's real, but we'll have to wait and see on it. But like they've just been, it comes down to mismanage it from the top, kind of forcing the issue in certain areas and taking chances on things where they shouldn't have, going too big in certain areas, and then it's just kind of like they didn't seem like they had a clue on exactly what they wanted to do with this, and instead it was just a bunch of random shit, trying to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And really good management's usually focused and has a plan, has a clear plan, instead of just throwing a bunch of money at random shit and hoping something turns out, right? And now, it turns out that a lot of the money they threw away is just fucking gone now, and then you see a lot of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes at Sony and a lot of the struggles they've been having, because overall, even though they're doing well console sales wise and stuff, like the software is still not where they would want it to be. The growth is not where they would want it to be, right? Selling to the same customers over and over again is not exactly what they want to do. They talk about branching out and doing different things, getting more recurring revenue and all these kind of things, but they're afraid to go and fully step into anything that they're doing, man. Like even the fucking subscription service, right? Like they I talked about this when they first launched it, when they did the whole rebranding of PlayStation Plus with extra and all this stuff. It's like they're afraid to dip their they're like just barely dipping their toe in the water. Like they're not even going for it, right? Like how are they expecting people to subscribe to a service with pretty much no day one content, especially for first parties? Definitely none. But from third party, there's still very little. And then you're talking about mostly older stuff, when the competition, and it's not just Game Pass, like Game Pass has tons of day one stuff launching all the time. And the first party, every fucking game launches in there. Then you have a multi-tiered ecosystem where you have Xbox, PC, cloud gaming, mobile. You can play all those different things. You have cross progression, cross buy, all these different aspects are all combined in there. Yet you're charging $70 for your games. Don't put them into your service day one. And I know everybody charges $70 now, but they were the first ones to do it. And then you have your subscription service that you're not putting any of your shit in there. So that's how much people have to pay if they want to play one of those games now. And it's like, yeah, that's cool for a little while. It's going to give you that quick return, right, on your investment that you've been spending a few years on. But overall, does it have the legs? Does it have the legs? They're missing that recurring revenue right now. And, I think they're taking hits in several different ways. If they would have thought more about this and really had a better plan and been focused, I think they would be in a much better state looking forward for the multiplayer side, right? And I think this whole thing set them back on their other kind of games too. Like this is why I believe we don't have a clear dedicated pipeline for the big first party studios at PlayStation right now.
Well, I agree. I think that a lot of these changes, the fluctuations that they've had within Sony trying to decide what they're going to do, and make no mistake about it. I think Mav and I are both on record that Sony had to do something.
Yeah.
They again, Matt's point to Ubisoft, we talked about that Sony seems in that mode where they're kind of chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow all the damn time right now, that they seem to be chasing a lot of things, and we don't know if they're too late to the party. Again, Amit Kumar brought up fair games as well in the chat. Are they chasing too many pots at one time? Well, they're not chasing anything is the problem right now. Again, they start saying, oh, we're going to go over here. And then they go, oh, what? No, we're canceling. No, let's head back. It's not good. It's no good. It's no good. No shot. And they walk away. That's the problem. You have to chase. Sony put themselves in this position. They're going to have to play catch up. They're doing what they had to do. They're desperate. They went out and got Bungie. Right? They're still highly successful. Again, that has nothing to do with it. When I say they're desperate for that extra revenue stream. They're desperate to get engagement up on their ecosystem. They are now talking about that more and more and more. That hence why you get the modes like God of War, Ragnarok, Valhalla. Why you get the $10 add-on for The Last of Us Part 2. They need that engagement. So they have to do this. But if you're going to question every time you start the race, and not a good start, let's go back to the start. You're never going to get anywhere, anytime. So they've got to do something, and I think is that our main point. They've got to try something. And again, I will say it again. Sony, I know you don't care. You got all your experts in-house. Start small. Start small. Learn how to do this from the ground up. Start small. Build something out on one of your IP, whether it's one of your big IP or it's one of the forgotten IP you got in your closet. Bring it back. Start small. Grow the fan base. Build it with your community. Your community does play multiplayer games. They just play third-party multiplayer games. They will help you build just like we've seen other games be built out. Even people who know what they're doing, have their community help. Start small. Start somewhere. And then build upon that and learn as you go how to do this properly. You'll have failure, but you will also hopefully find some success in there as well. And you go, aha, we got that one. Mark that down. We know how to do this now. This is good. This is bad. We won't do that again. This is good. This is good. Okay, this is bad. That's what you do. Yes, people have built up advantages over you in this area, specifically Xbox, because they have been in this game for so damn long doing multiplayer games, and they have so many studios now that have proven how to do it. And on top of that, they just added some of the greatest of all time studios in the ABK deal. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it. But damn, start small. Do something, please.
Yes,
please. Jax 82 coming through with the 5-bomb super chat. Jax 82. Thank you for the layup, sir. It goes far, sir. It goes far. Thank you so much for that layup. He says, they just killed the value of The Last of Us and potential value of Horizon with this live service push. Well, I don't think they necessarily killed it, because it never got off the ground. We'll see if we'll see if the Horizon one gets off the ground. But if in the next year or a year and a half, Naughty Dog, they said they got 2 projects going right now, Mav. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
So they're saying their whole entire studio would have to work on one online game, and yet they have the resources and manpower
to make
two big single player games.
Yeah. Interesting. We do have some more super chats to get to.
Yeah, hold on. I was just going to say, if they do come out in the next year and a half or so and announce The Last of Us Part 3, all this is forgotten. All this is forgiven. Okay. They know their fan base. There's going to be some, and there has been some, credit to them, who have sat up and asked where Factions is, asked what the hell's going on, asked Sony to do better. But the vast majority of their enthusiasts, right, are going to forgive and forget and just move on and say, oh, we're getting The Last of Us 3, great, and not ever care again about Factions or The Last of Us Online.
They won't announce the Factions for Last of Us Part 3, I bet you
no. They haven't. Not from this statement today. They're done. They're not going back to multiplayer.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. I still can't believe it. Like, promise it. And then, was it been 2 years? Roughly?
What?
Since Last of Us Part 2 came out?
2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, and then can't cancel it 2 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And as people saying, like, not day one, they can't afford it and all that stuff. That's fine if it's hard for them. What I'm saying is, like, they barely even dipping their toe in the water. Like, GT7 came out in March of last year.
Should be in there.
March of last year. What is the cutoff date for the service? Right. Like, at that point, like, because it's been 21 months. It's been 21 months. Is that long enough for it to finally be in the service? Like, should have been in there like after 6 months at least. Like, I mean, come on. I think people would be understanding. Ducato with a $2 super chat says, Factions became fictions before the end game.
True.
A fiction, yeah. Anonymous Boss with the 10 says, thanks for what you guys do. Can't forget Jasper, 3-Bit, Psycho Fuzzy, and Mav's wife, Kate. Don't forget Advance the Line. Almost forgot, where are those magic cookies, Mav? I need to get some new ones, man. These ones are stale. I mean,
wow.
they kind of...
If Mav says they're stale, they were stale like 3 years ago, folks. He just, his taste buds finally just told him that they're stale.
Well, when I buy them, they're still they're still out the gate. So, you can kind of tell, when they get old.
You buy those at the Dollar General, don't you?
No,
they're
these
expired.
I got them right here.
Yeah.
These are from Target. These are the Market Pantry brand ones.
The Market Pantries. Do they have an expiration date?
I'm trying to find one. It says cardboard does not expire.
right.
No, here we go.
Please.
Oh, you know what? Oh, they just expired. Fuck. They just expired, bro. 11 December 2023. So 3 days late. Should I eat 3 days expired animal crackers?
If they had frosting, you wouldn't even tell, but you.
I mean, will I die?
No, you won't die.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You know? Here we go.
Cyber Gunther, even if they don't want to put me in charge, oh my God, even if they don't want to put me in charge, I'll take an advisory role anywhere. Let's go. Yeah. It's P in the PM now. That's all it is. After he ate his freaking expired animal crackers.
Jax82 says, I'm pissed Sony got behind this just to drop it.
Yeah. I mean, that's disappointing. You know, but again, their fan base, I saw somebody saying, oh, I wonder what MBG will say and stuff. If you listen to these guys, some of them have questioned it, but most of them don't give two flying fucks about multiplayer.
They don't play
They
multiplayer.
just want their single player. No, they want their single player games.
And games
again,
media
that's why
doesn't fucking play multiplayer either, hardly.
Right.
Like, I mean, just be honest. Like,
no, it's become the third person narrative driven game time and time again. That's what's been pushed. That's what people think is the premium experience. They don't get. That's why I can't believe they talk about Xbox so much. It's like you guys don't have any interest in any of the games. Why do you care whether or not they ever make a third-person narrative-driven game if you've got Sony making all your favorite stuff? Why the hell do you care about anything over on Xbox? I will never understand that mentality, but that's truly what it is. And my God, TK Chillin says, listen, folks, I did not think the hype train, the sub train was running fast enough. I didn't think Mach 2.7 was good enough. So I'm going to come help out. I'm going to buy a single ticket. I'm going to jump on board and I'm going to get out and push in the back to get this thing going even faster. That's right. TK Chillin with the single layup, the single bomb, joining the speculators. Thank you so much, TK Chillin. Choo-choo, motherfucker. We are rolling down and the ads keep going away. We are now at 8:15. 8:15 from no ads. Let's go.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it, TK Chillin. If Spartan 661 with the $2 says, where is the FTC on Sony? Why is Xbox the target? Well, they're getting sued in the UK and they're letting that lawsuit go through and from overcharging their customers over there. So we'll see. I think there could be some fallout from this. I don't know for sure because you accept those terms and conditions and all those things and you play games and all that kind of stuff. And like, what does it say on the back of the box? We got to find that kind of stuff out, right? Like, what can they get away with? But I think there should be some people that are upset about this because it was advertised and promised for sure. Bold Alpha Wolfpack with a 5. Appreciate you. Says, I was going to get factions, but I'm not going to buy 4 versions of Last of Us 1 and 2 to make that happen. LOL. Sony is losing their minds. Yeah. That's true, man. I mean, what was the last rumor? Was The Last of Us Part 2? Well, it actually was not even a rumor. It's actually official. Yeah, sorry. They came out and actually acknowledged it. Yeah. So Last of Us Part 2 is coming next year. Remaster. I mean, fucking hell, man. It's like the game's only 2 years old. Like, why?
They got to do it because they do it for PC, man.
Yeah, I get it. We've explained this before. You know.
Yeah,
like,
that's all it's for.
It's like they're gonna go and charge. I don't know.
If people stop buying it, they wouldn't do it. But they're not going to stop. Again, the people, and again, I hope I hope they give an upgrade path like they've been prone to do recently.
Yeah.
I had zero problem with that. Again, that I don't have a problem if you want to charge $20 for an upgrade fee. That's fine. That's fine. Again,
development time and
is it a filler? Yes, absolutely. Of course, all that comes into question, Mav, and it's rightfully questioned when you don't have a roadmap announced yet. Why the hell is it only pretty much third-party exclusives and your remasters? Again, if you had an actual roadmap and you had this stuff in between, well then okay, cool. But you don't have a roadmap. You haven't sold Hopes and Dreams. Now, I do believe they're coming next year with Hopes and Dreams, but you haven't sold any of that yet. But again, your fan base doesn't question it. You're selling across the globe. at an all-time pace console-wise. So upper management's going to sit back and go, we don't have to. We don't have to do any of that stuff. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. So Sony going to be Sony. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Oh, we are all caught up, bro.
Yeah.
All
right.
This chat
Perfect.
has been insane.
You guys
today.
are insane. Yeah. Thank you all for being here again. Just love seeing you all. Familiar faces. If you're lurking and I don't see your face in the chat, doesn't matter. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here and joining in. Mav and I literally had no idea what was going to happen tonight, how we were going to talk, what we're going to talk about. But here we are, nearly 2 hours in and through only a couple topics. So freaking incredible night as always.
One real topic. I mean,
yeah, Matt, one real topic. We could have had a couple rants in there too, but Mav and I haven't talked again. It's been a month since we've done one of these, so I love seeing this. Where do we want to go next? Man, we got a lot of cool stuff actually this week.
Let's the big topic that's on the thumbnail. That was your idea.
We do, and I know, and I still haven't found the freaking post yet for it. I got to find that yet. So let's do something else. Let's not hop in that.
Did you post it in the DMs?
I don't think I did, but I think somebody did. And I don't know if it's in, I couldn't find it in Gaming News Group. I went through Gaming News Group and I couldn't find it. So if you want to check Fun Spec Fam and see if it's in there, I'm sure Psycho posted it somewhere. Yeah. Anyways, let's do this real quick because we were just talking about, let's just continue this real quick. We should mention this, Mav. Terrible situation that Insomniac got hacked, supposedly. Insomniac has a big leak problem right now. And Wolverine was a part of that leak, including employee information as well as trying to be sold. I haven't heard an update other than Sony acknowledged that it was a hack. They didn't know how much got out and none of their other divisions were affected by this one. But Insomniac did get hacked. Real quick, Mav. I think I know that you saw at least one of the real screenshots. There were the other screenshots that were fake bullshit shots from a UA5 thing that somebody created. But there was one or two real shots from Wolverine. Third person, camera angle in, and again, this is all salt, folks. But camera angle looked a lot like God of War. What'd you think about that screenshot there of Wolverine or two?
I saw it and I was like, okay, I can't really tell anything from it. So it's like,
it was really blurry.
Yeah. And like, it looks like some kind of probably a smaller environment that they're having some kind of a set piece narrative thing going on. Right. And in that, I'm like, okay, that doesn't tell me anything about what I would actually want to know about the game. Right. So, who knows, man? I mean, I'm curious if other stuff will come out. I honestly hope it doesn't.
Sure.
For the sake of Insomniac, right?
Sure.
It's interesting that these hacks keep happening right now. Like these, like why? Somebody made this post. And I thought it was like, actually like makes sense. Like these hackers and stuff, and like do some cool shit like that. Actually, like has an impact for betterment for like humanity or something instead of like hacking video game companies. You want to do something really important or whatever. Instead they just like ransomware fucking companies and stuff like that. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't think it's going to end up having a big impact on anything.
No,
I think the game's probably still a couple years away. So ultimately I think Insomniac will deliver an amazing game. I saw some people saying like it's Wolverine meets God of War or whatever and that kind of stuff. I don't know exactly where that came from. But I hope it's not that for what it's worth. Yep. I don't know.
First thing I thought of, I know Sony fans might be like cool, but I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Is that kind of what you took away from the screenshots?
Yeah.
Or is like,
yeah, I mean, from the position of the camera and stuff, it obviously looked more like that than it did like Spider-Man. It didn't look like Spider-Man. You know, it looked more like a God of War style game, which I mean, again, if they're going to go for a narrative driven Wolverine game with not as much open world like a Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's all about the movement, it's all about the web slinging and the flying and all that kind of stuff, whereas Wolverine is definitely going to be a much more ground based. Obviously he's going to be much slower paced type of movement and game style than a Spider-Man is. But obviously for me, I want to see the blood. I want to see the dismemberment if they're going to go that far. I want to see, Wolverine being Wolverine. So I didn't see a whole lot. It was a fuzzy screenshot anyways. Again, this is where the this is also this hack is also where the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse game from Insomniac, the multiplayer game information came from as well, was out of this hack. Hacks suck. Again, this industry always acts like they're the only ones out here and that they are the biggest victims, and people go crazy with us. Oh, the devs, oh, poor blah, blah. Listen, anytime you have a secret industry, you're going to have people that want to know and that want that valuable information to try to sell to you illegally, because there are people who do bad things in the world. And when your industry is ultra secretive, which means your information is more valuable, that's going to be where people go to hit. And again, people look at video game industry and the video game companies and say, well, this is going to be a lot less sentence if I get caught instead of if I went after the government, right? So when Matt says do something more productive with it, it gets attention. This is why we had the Rockstar hacker, the kid who hacked Rockstar. He actually got code, right? That was a massive problem. He got the full code for GTA. This one doesn't sound like they got any code. But they were trying to sell it back to Insomniac for $2 million. I don't know where it went from there, but that's where it came from. But hacks are going to happen. There's bad people out in the world. They're going to do shitty things. Happens all over the place in all different types of industries. It's not just the video game industry. Again, I understand it sucks, right? It does suck, as far as that goes, but it does happen elsewhere as well. It's not just the video game industry that has to deal with this stuff. Obviously, again, credit card companies being the number one. How many hacks we've seen there?
Did
Yahoo,
like Uber,
the Yahoo
get hacked?
Yes, Uber
like
got
that,
hacked. Yahoo, you remember the Yahoo hack?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was massive, dude. All of this stuff happens. So again, we're gonna talk about it. You know me, I don't mind leaks. Again, not much was leaked here. It's just kind of a small little glimpse of Wolverine. Again, looked really detailed from what I could tell, which I expected from Insomniac. So looking forward to seeing more from Wolverine down the road. Let's see here. What do we got? Mav? Well, if you want to get into the big conversation, we get into the big conversation. Then we got some other stuff to get into as well afterwards. So we can definitely get into this. So the main topic of tonight.
Before we move on, we got a super chat related to this conversation. Go. Abdi with the $7 Canadian says, "A Wolverine is a flop if it's not dark and mature. I do not think Insomniac has the balls to do it."
We've already kind of heard from them, haven't we, Mav? Didn't Insomniac say they were going to go?
They just said they're going to go dark and mature for sure.
Yeah.
We also got the Blade official concept art today.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that real quick before we get to the main topic then. Yeah, Blade.
It's fitting for the conversation, so.
It is fitting. Let's continue. You're right, Mav. So it's a good spot. Let's go. So for anybody who doesn't know, Arcane Leon popped out today. Sebastian Mitten, who is the art co-creative director for Arcane Studios Leon, came out today, thanked everybody for their hype and excitement around the Blade announcement, and said, "Oh, by the way, here's some concept art for y'all," and dropped 3 images for us to enjoy. Again, we now have the circus out here comparing concept art between factions and this.
Which now,
this community,
it was hilarious, the fact of it ended up what happened tonight. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's hilarious in its own right. Again, I don't know why anybody takes these people seriously. I don't know anybody follows these. These guys are these people are complete imbeciles. Okay, there's so many of them that are just complete imbeciles. Again, I don't always like to get personal, but come on, guys. This is just, we're comparing concept art now. Really? Anyways, concept art dropped. To me, as the lover of Arcane, fan freaking tastic, Mav. Like, again, concept art is just an idea.
Yeah.
Trying to get the atmosphere. Doesn't mean the game is going to exactly look like that. With Arcane, you all know Arcane's style. Love them, hate them. They have a specific style. That trailer told me that they are going to mix their style with a new type of comic style along with it. If the trailer is anything to go by, which I absolutely love because there are some crazy things in my head that they can do with Blade, going with this type of art style, knowing that they are still going with an immersive sim, knowing that they are saying that you're going to be able to play the Blade you want to play, which means, again, in classic Arcane fashion, you can either go loud or you'll be able to go full stealth if you want to. If they are going to give us that, this art style lends itself well. Of course, I still want to see violence and blood and Blade being Blade, but I'd never expected Arcane to come out with some coalition looking gear style Blade. So when I saw this concept art, I was like, yeah, this is Arcane. But the colors really got me, Mav. The colors of the nightclub scene where he's kind of hiding outside the bar and looking at it, that really drew my eye, because Dishonored isn't the most colorful game in the world, right? It's really, it's a lot of muted colors. I'm thinking by these screenshots and by the trailer, they're going to lean into heavy, bright colors in a lot of ways to accentuate different aspects of the environment, of actions and stuff that's going on. So I'm excited for this. What did you see in the concept art that you enjoyed there, Mav?
Man, I thought it looked great. Honestly, I like, I know some people are saying like they weren't impressed with it. I actually hope the fucking game looks like that. Like, I love that style that's on that concept art. Like, it's badass. Not everything needs to be like fucking realistic graphics. Like, this got this like theme in it with the art style is kind of comic book, but like dark, mature comic book, you know? And that was speaking to me. I can imagine when you slash through and how bright red the blood would appear on the screen in that art style. And man, it'd just be, I think it would look sick as hell. And the biggest takeaway is they had the one shot with him like on the rooftop, you know, kind of looking down at the city and stuff. And if that's like positioned where the camera angle would be and stuff, if that's kind of the concept idea for that, 100% on board with that as well. Because that looks like a world I want to just fucking start jumping around and diving around, going around those rooftops, climbing around. Like, I want to jump in and play that right there in that shot. Like, I really do. So I hope that's actually what it looks like. But
the other thing is they show his gun, they show his sword, so we know we're going to get both there. I never had any doubt for a moment that they were not going to use, again, Arcane being Arcane. They love tools. They love different ways of using tools and powers. Blade's going to have his full repertoire and then some, I think. Again, I think they're making their own Blade in this. The other thing too, Mav, was the final piece of concept art was the subway, where it looks like an abandoned subway and the vampires are hanging out in the dark in there with the classic glowing eyes, fangs out, kind of hanging out like they, you know, that's their spot during the daytime, because Blade's outside that subway car in kind of the bright light, holding his sword up, looking like he's trying to deflect something or trying to keep something back from him. Again, it's not very clear. It almost looks like bats potentially, but they're just they're like shapes is all they are. So very, very cool stuff here. Again, I'm a huge fan of Arcane Leon. If you're not, I'm sorry. I am a huge fan. I think they're going to do a masterful job with Blade. This is getting me more excited now with these concept art here. Really happy to see this today. So yeah, definitely up my alley for sure. All right, Mav. Let's hop into the thumbnail. Gen 10 early. Gen 10, not Ben 10, everybody. Did like Ben 10. Kiddo used to watch Ben 10 back in the day. Did like Ben 10. Cool cartoon. But Gen 10. And again, I know a lot of people don't like generations anymore, numbering. Shout out to Grub. He hates it. Because it doesn't make any sense anymore, because we've got things like the Switch and we've got all sorts of weird, you know, it just doesn't line up anymore with how things go.
Yeah, everything, like most games you can play on the next generation systems and stuff. Like, it's
generations don't matter anymore, really, at the end of the day, as much as they used to. They're not as clearly defined as they used to be, all sorts of different things. But we're going to use it for the title of tonight's show because it makes sense. So Gen 10 early. Why we're bringing this up, everybody knows by now, everybody's heard that Sony is supposedly bringing a pro version of the PS5 next year. I think Mav is in belief that it's true. I'm certainly am in belief that it's true. So we know we're getting that. Phil has come out and said there is no plans for an Xbox mid-gen upgrade. Refresh got leaked, Mav, through the documents from Xbox, right? We saw the cylinder looking all digital Series X, but that was just a slim version as we know them, right? Where it wasn't going to be more powerful. They were going to have smaller die chips in there, probably take less electricity to run, be cheaper for Xbox to produce, different form factor, the usual. Slim version. We've gotten slims for a long time now on consoles. So a revision, whatever you want to call it. But Phil said, no, we're not doing a mid-gen upgrade anymore. We're not going to do an Xbox One X. We're not going to do, that style. We don't think it's necessary. So, man, we've had a conversation or two or three about what Xbox could be doing for the future coming up into next gen. There's been a lot of talk because court documents came out during the ABK deal saying 2028 was the year. I think we had a leak. Was it NVIDIA had a conference where they also showed a slideshow where they had 2028 for new console drop? I think it was NVIDIA or
it was AMD,
yeah.
I think.
AMD. Yeah. They had a slideshow at one point during some small conference or some small thing that they were running that said 2028 for new consoles. So we've had some, pretty concrete evidence, Mav, that 2028 is the mark. And obviously if Sony does come out with the Pro next year, that would make sense, right? For them, 2028. But we've also had this discussion in Speculation Town, Mav. What if Xbox launches early? What if the plan is, no, we're not going to do an upgrade mid-gen because we are actually going to shock and awe everybody because now we have 35 plus studios making content. So guess what? We're going to start the next gen and we've got these studios, we got these games, we got this freaking amazing roadmap that now Phil and Booty can see clearly. So we're going to line everything up and we're going to come out swinging early. And we're going to say that the next gen starts. And we've had this conversation. I brought it up personally on multiple shows that I thought this could be the plan because of what they could do damage-wise to Sony now that this gen has played out the way it has. Now that Sony is in some parts of the world 3-to-1, 4-to-1 console sales. Again, not that console sales are everything. We know that. But what I'm saying is, if you're going to launch into console, and Phil said they were working on it, if you've got nothing to lose, Mav, right? You got nothing to lose. You now control your own destiny because you have spent nearly $100 billion on your division, growing your division. You got nothing to lose. You control it. You've got more content than you know what to do with. Why not buck the trend and say, screw it, we're coming out early?
Yeah.
And then this week, and why we're using this as a main topic, right? And we'll talk about maybe what Sony does here too. This week, there is a person named Kepler on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, Kepler has known things in the past about some goings on within the industry and has been correct a couple of times in the past, from what I can tell, especially hardware stuff. Well, Kepler was responding to a post. A post where somebody had said, well, Phil Spencer did say Elder Scrolls 6 may take 5+ years after Starfield, and documents did indicate that next-gen consoles will be 2028 plus. Kepler jumps into this and responds, Xbox Next is earlier than that. And somebody else said, I think that it's likely to be on the XSSX. Likely, but not guaranteed. Next console gen comes out 2027, give or take a year. Elder Scrolls 6 is probably 2028, give or take. Likely, they're still doing cross-gen releases when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, as they'll want big sales, not enough people on next gen. Again, he responded, Xbox Next isn't that far away.
Yeah.
Then there was another post by videocards.com that said Xbox Series 2024 refresh, and they showed the picture of what was the new controller that we saw and the cylinder type all digital Series X, right? Xbox Series 2024 refresh and next gen Xbox details leak out. Microsoft considering AMD Zen 6 and Navi 5 architectures. Kepler says, I've heard very different things. And then Kepler said, no 6 nanometer Arden Plus / Sparkman Plus AFAIK. Don't ask me. I know that's one of the chips, right? I know that much, but I don't know what anything else. Wonder if this is a canceled project, indicating that he's heard that potentially the digital Series X Slim has been canceled. All right, man.
I remember Phil did say that those were old plans that had leaked.
Yes.
You'll
Correct.
see our new real plans. You have to wait for that, right?
Things change all the time, and things change all the time. All that good stuff. Mav, we're deep in speculation town.
Yeah,
we're deep, but this is our town, right? We're co-mayors along with Boom. Shout out to Boom. We're co-mayors. We run this. We're taking a tour right now. We're taking a deep tour. We've got this is a new addition, right, to the speculation town. It's not fully complete yet, so we're showing off what could potentially happen here in a new space, right? So take it for what it is. Again, this is all speculation on our part, but it's an interesting conversation to have. Mav, what do you think about this? We've had these discussions. Everything I said about potentially Xbox swinging first, coming out earlier than everybody thinks, to knock it out of the park, to control and say, hey, we're here. The PS5 Pro, we don't know the exact specs. There's been a whole lot of weird, wild leaks out there about the specs. Supposedly the dev kits are in the wild and they're planning on having it leak at some point because so many devs are going to have that thing. So we'll get the true specs. But obviously we believe that the PS5 Pro probably will kill the power narrative that Phil said that they will never lose again. Whether or not that's still important to Phil, whether or not it's still important to Xbox, whatever. It's not important to me as a gamer. I don't care. I just care about the quality of games. But for you, Mav, do you think that potentially this Kepler's onto something and that we could have a situation where Xbox is doing something pretty drastic and dramatic in the background and changing directions?
Right. So I was looking at this post, right? And so shout out to Post Up. Great guy in the community, does great content and has been very valuable with all the ABK stuff and all these kind of things. So I think Post Up was digging around some of the stuff going around from all those leaks that happened in September, because the Kepler comments were all on September the 18th. Okay. Post Up, I think, found all these or somehow noticed all these and was like, wait, what's going on? And then he snapped them and then shared them out now, like yesterday. So there's kind of like, oh, like interesting. He put the pieces together. This guy seems to know something and he's been right in the past or whatever. So it's like interesting. So Post Up's comment was, wait, is he talking about a mid-gen Xbox or next-gen? AMD data miner Kepler says a new Xbox could release sooner than we think, right? So it's kind of putting the pieces together, just putting out the thought. And here we are in speculation town, as you said, Pong, right? And we've had this discussion before. In fact, you brought this up before when we were talking about mid-gen refreshes and all this kind of stuff. And the thought where I was thinking, I thought they should do it because I think it's important to have a more powerful option or always be up there. Like we talked about, what if big multi-platform games come out and they perform better on one platform than the other, and that could be that could be not necessarily the best thing, right? For console owners, for their console side of the market, right? It's not everything, but still important for sure.
Sure.
So that was always a thought process, and it's like, what do they do? And you had brought up, well, what if they do go early? What if they go early on the next gen? Now the question for me would be like, how early is early, right? Because I don't think we would be talking about like a 2024 scenario whatsoever, or maybe not even a 2025. Because I think the original plan, like all of the documents before that were shown, and like Phil had said in the past as well that this is going to be like a longer generation and stuff like that. That I would be thinking that longer would be 2028 or 20. Sorry, the original plan would be 2028, as like we saw, and then so soon maybe like 2026, 2027. But if they do actually, and I think a lot of this depends on what happens with the PS5 Pro. And that's something we still don't know 100% know the answer to. We know that Tom Henderson has been writing multiple times in the past, and he said there's going to be a PS5 Pro probably next year. Then we saw the, what was it, last week or a couple days ago, Zubitech actually have like leaked specs, supposedly, take out the huge truck assault for a PS5 Pro. With that PS5 Pro, it would be potentially definitely would be more powerful than a Series X, right? But it wouldn't also be like game changing necessarily at all, right? Especially like there's been a lot of speculation that console probably wouldn't be able to perform a game like GTA 6 at 60 frames. There's been some speculation, including even Kepler himself, the same person, has been making these comments about the potential of a new Xbox. Mentioned that as well, that he thought even the PS5 Pro would probably still only run GTA 6 at like a 30 frames per second. So I think it depends on pressure, right? And I don't like knowing that my hardware that I bought in 2020 when they came out, or was it late 2019?
2020.
Yeah, 2020 when they originally. Yeah, it's already been 3 years.
Yeah.
2020 when they originally launched. Like 8 years later in 2028, like that's a, if you don't have any upgrades and then an 8-year time span for power and stuff, like by the end of that, and a lot of people are saying we don't need mid-gen refreshes, we don't need this, we don't need that, and yeah, okay, I get it, you know, dev tools, people got to use the tools, all this kind of stuff, right? But you just can't tell me though, like in 2026 that we won't start feeling the age of the hardware. I mean, in some ways we already kind of are, because a lot of these big next gen only or current gen only games are already like only launching at 30 frames, or like, you know, they're having optimization issues or all these other kind of situations. So for me, it's like, yeah, use the tools, sure, right? That obviously helps, you know, like Larry improved that as well, you know. But at the same time, I'm like, in 2026, the new games that are going to be coming out then, you know, 2027 on 2020 hardware, even if it's a revision, even if we get like a Xbox Series X Slim or something, if there's not any like performance upgrades or like, then for me, I'll still be like, I wish if I was going to the store to buy a new Xbox at that time, that it would be something that had more power than something that came out in 2020, you know? And that's where it's like, I don't like the whole 8-year idea of a generation without any incremental increases there, because I'm a fucking gamer. I want the best performance I can get on consoles. Are these games still going to be optimized? Hopefully so, and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be great. But if they don't do a mid-gen refresh, if they don't give us an incremental upgrade, then I really do hope they do go early. Is what Kepler said enough to make me really think that there's something to it? I have no idea, because I don't know what he's seen, and I don't know his track record or how verifiable any of it is. And I don't know what he means by sooner than that either, right? But even if they, like, let's say PS5 Pro comes out next year, okay? We know GTA 6 is like a 2025 game, supposedly. That's what they said. You know, they'll probably have Wolverine then as well for PlayStation. They're going to really really hype that up. They'll probably be talking about it at the next showcase if they do reveal the PS5 Pro at some point.
Correct.
And then you'd imagine Wolverine would be one of the games. Obviously, they'd want to show off with that. So at that point, it's like Xbox would be in a conversation of like, oh, you know, they're going to be a little bit outdated on the hardware side for consoles comparatively to the competition. And if they wait 4 years later to release new hardware in the console space, for me, that would be an issue, right? So 2 years, is that even too long? Like
Bro.
I mean, just think about it. How long 2 years is really, if you really think about it, for narrative purposes, mind share, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally, I know they said they don't need to do mid-gen refresh or all this kind of stuff. I personally would rather them do a mid-gen refresh in like 2024, 2025, and then still do like next gen in 2028, because like 2026 for me still is like kind of far away for that, and I want the best performance I can get. It's a me thing. It's a personal taste, right? I understand not everybody wants that or whatever, but for me, I want the best bang for the buck. And if I can take my Xbox and trade it in, and spend like an extra $150, $200, whatever, plus to get a better piece of hardware, then I'm all for that. You know what I mean? Not to say that there's anything wrong with them now, but we're talking about 2025, 2026, and those kind of things. I would hope that there's a plan for that, but I don't know.
I think there is. Shout out to Michael Mooney dropping the 5-pound bomb in here. Let's go. A modified AMD Strix Halo would be next gen enough for Gen 10. That's certainly possible. That's, again, I'm not a techie, but I know that's AMD's new supposed chipset that they have been talking up recently with some incredible performance figures and that kind of stuff. Here's the deal, Mav. I agree with everything that you said there. As far as the length of time, I'll be the first one to admit that early on when we were talking in 2020 and 2021 about this generation, I said I thought this could be the longest generation we've ever seen. I thought this gen could go 10 years, right, Mav? I said that back then. Here's the deal. I'm not the tech guy at all, but I do understand the basics of what they do in R&D when they start thinking about ahead to the next console, and they usually do it almost immediately after they launch the current console. They start talking in R&Ding and thinking ahead. A lot of what they do when they make these consoles is based on speculation of where tech's going to be and what it's going to look like. They talk to developers and say, what do you guys think you're going to need for your next games? But a lot of stuff, even the developers don't know, because they didn't know how UE5 would flesh out and perform, right? And I'm just using UE5 because it's one of the most common engines out there that's used everywhere. It's the one that seems to be giving current gen consoles the most problems in a lot of areas, right? But it also pushes the tech further, as we've seen. And we've been hearing behind the scenes how Coalition's, Gear 6 is going to set new standards, right? So maybe the fact is, Mav, that they never had a plan, that when they launched the Series X and S, we know for a fact they thought the S was going to perform better than it has. The way that they promoted it, the way that they sold it. Now, the S is a little beast. Again, if you can catch that deal at Costco for $150 on the Series S, my God. I mean, what a fantastic deal. Sorry, I hit the mic. The Series S is a little beast, right? It's not the potato that everybody claims it is. But it certainly has not been exactly keeping up the way that Xbox internally, from what they were talking about when they first launched it, it hasn't been keeping up with this gen as well as they thought it would. And we're finding out, Mav. And again, I see people in the chat, and Mav and I agree with you. A lot of it comes down to the developers. A lot of it comes down to the optimization of these games. We just saw what happens with Baldur's Gate 3 when Larian went back and continued to work on the versions for the Xbox, and all of a sudden they found almost a 30% boost in performance in some areas across all platforms, not just Xbox, across all platforms. So we've been saying that for a long time, that optimization is a big deal, and using the tools, right?
I get that. It's just like the game's still come out the way they do, like
Correct.
regardless of that. Like, and that's always going to be the
Correct. That's
situation.
always going to be,
Yeah.
and not every developer is going to do it. Not every developer is going to choose to do it. There's certainly not every developer is going to choose to do it for Xbox, because we know from the horse's mouth. And if you don't believe us, you can talk to 3-Bit as well, who's been inside some of these rooms with these devs at different studios. Xbox sometimes is the last one developed for and optimized for, right? Just because the player base. So the facts are that these developers aren't all going to universally use every tool possible. They're not going to optimize their games at every instance to try to get the most that they possibly can out of them, just to give us great performance on all these consoles across the board plus PC. It's just not going to happen. So if that's all the case, Mav, now that we got into this gen, maybe Phil, and now of course Sarah Bond, because she's in charge of the hardware sector now too as well, maybe they sat back and had these discussions, Mav. Maybe they redid their whole timeline. Maybe that is why Phil said what he said with the leaks about the, the slim version, or, whatever you want to call it. Maybe that's why you said that was old information.
Yeah.
You'll see our plans when we're ready to share them, because they did sit back and go, you know what, guys? Our consoles aren't going to be looking great in 2026, 2027. Our consoles aren't going to be looking that fantastic anymore. These devs are going to run into more and more problems. We're going to see, potentially bigger issues with some of the things that we've already seen pop up here and there. Maybe Coalition themselves came to Phil and said, listen, we're making Gear 6. You guys, you know us. You've seen it. Looks great. Looks beautiful. Oh, boy. This is going to be, this might not be the best performing Gears ever when we get it out there. It's not, we can get it looking great, but if we're going to cut it down to get the performance up, it's not going to look the best anymore, because we're going to have to make some sacrifices. Maybe that happened. Again, we're in speculation town. I'm not saying it did. I'm just saying maybe that initial conversation they had, the R&D that they did on the Xbox Series X and S, didn't turn out to be as right as they would have hoped. And maybe now, Mav, they've readjusted their timeline. They got to work right away on the new consoles and started, guesstimating again what it was going to look like. And they're thinking to themselves, if we want Gears 6, if we want, Elder Scrolls 6, if we want this whole slate of first-party titles, and they'll still be cross-gen, don't get me wrong, they're not going to abandon the Series X and S. But if we want them in the best light, if we want our first-party titles to come out and perform the best and look the best in 2026, 2027, we need to push ahead our plans, and we need to get out a new console that is more powerful than we ever believed we were going to need originally. And I think there's something there, Matt. I think it potentially they did say, you know what, we're not going to do that mid-gen refresh.
Change of plans.
Change of plans. And again, would it be shocking to anybody? No. Price point wise, that's always going to matter, is what the price point comes in at that point. But at the end of the day, as we've seen tech move forward and people, changing out their graphics cards and their PCs more often and all that kind of stuff, we people, again, we've gone back to the cell phone industry, not that it's one for one, because it's not, but again, maybe we're at that point where, especially for Xbox, they say, okay, we're going to shorten our generations from here on out, and we're just going to do it that way.
Do you feel like they need to do one or the other? You know what I mean? Like mid-gen refresh or shorten it? Because really think about it. Like if PS5 has a PS5 Pro coming out next year, and then they do like a 2028 launch, they're going to be a little bit more better suited to weather the storm, or like timetable wise for power, narrative, and all that kind of stuff, right? If Xbox doesn't, then you're talking about, like, just think about it, think about it, people. Like, it's the original like leaks and stuff and thought processes was in 2028. We're 3 years in now. That's 5 years, 5 more years. It's what I've been saying from the get-go when they started talking about a lot of this stuff back in the day. Like, maybe consoles go more like kind of incremental and kind of like, because it's all you can play this shit on every platform on cross-generational anyway. Like, your library carries with you. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
not like you're abandoning things, you know. And it took like pretty much 2.5 years for them to stop development on last generational titles this time as well. And like
Yeah.
you really think about that, if that goes the same way for the next, and you're still going to be able to play games on your Series S and X for like if the plan still holds up to what it seemed like it was going to be for like 7 years for new games
Right.
and stuff. Like, and for me, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but like I would rather have like, because I love playing on console, have a PC that's
Mhm. Yeah.
up to par with
Yeah.
with the latest and stuff. But I love playing on console as well. I mean, that disparity gap will keep getting larger and larger over time. 5 years from now is like it's a long time in technology phases. Look how much
It is.
better games, like even in the 3 years, have gone. Like you see all this newest stuff coming out now with like the new Cyberpunk update for PCs with the like Nvidia like 4090s and shit. It's like mind blowing stuff. You have AI stuff starting to show up within gaming more. You talk there's like the AI chips and all these kind of things. All this stuff, the stuff that I don't 100% understand. Right? Talking about
Yep.
5 years away. I love my Series X's. It's honestly my favorite console I've ever owned because
Sure.
I love the compatibility of it between for my library, right?
Yeah.
But like 5 years is a long time to stick, especially 8 years. But like even thinking about it now, 5 years
Yeah. 5
is a
years.
lot
Yeah.
more a long time to stick with like the same level base of power and stuff. So for me, it's like
Yeah.
I think they got to. It's either one or the other. You either got to do a mid-gen refresh, or you got to come out with or you just got to shorten that original idea. I don't know.
I generally agree with you, Mav, because I don't think that again, is it as important as it once was? No, because again, now with the moves that they made, again, what they did with the Series X and S was prior to ABK ever becoming a reality, right? That big of a purchase and where they are now is two completely different worlds as far as mentality goes, because they truly are their own factory for gaming now. They truly can produce anything that they need to produce gaming wise. And I think that because of that, they really could line up their launches, because again, now that the architecture is more in line with PC, and again, I'm not speaking from experience, I don't know all the ins and outs, but just talking to 3-Bit, talking to the Psychonauts, talking about people who do know the tech, going back to your developers and saying, by the way, we're going to make this new console. Here's what the specs are going to look like that we think right now, but we're launching it early, 2026, 2027. A lot of that development is going to be the same development. They're just going to kick everything up a notch, right? They're going to put in the full ray tracing. They're going to do all that kind of stuff, right? And so it's not like the old days where you were getting brand new like architecture and oh my God, the devs kits are going to be completely different now and all that. That's not going to happen this next gen. So a lot of that back end work is not going to have to be something new to the dev. So it won't be as difficult as it used to be when you were seeing brand new like cell processor came out, which was completely different than anything else anybody had ever worked on before. That just doesn't happen anymore. It's not. It's all PC based now. It's all x86. So I think they can do it. I think they should do it, Mav. I think you're absolutely correct. If they're not going to start the gen early or move on to the next gen early, then I do believe that with the Pro becoming more and more a reality, I think they have to match it if they're planning on keeping the Series X, going until 2028. I think you really do have to have something back in the middle for the enthusiasts, for the people who do like all the bells and whistles. It's not going to be your biggest seller by any stretch of imagination, but for games like GTA 6, or your new games that are coming out from your first party, like a Hellblade 2. If Hellblade 2 doesn't run at 60 frames, I'll understand, right? Again, I'll understand with looking at it why it doesn't run at 60 frames, but you got to have something for the enthusiasts who now do want that 60 frame mode and put that out there and who don't want to go invest in a PC. So you're still going to have a base of people that do buy it. It's still going to keep you in line with the PS5 Pro, and you won't lose those battles head to head as badly, or you might win some depending on what you do with it, like we're seeing right now. So I think that it is important one way or the other they do something here. We're going to find out. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really interesting what they do here. Because like I've said, when I started thinking about this, because of the way their roadmap is lining up, Mav, whether they do it in 2026 or 2027, they could have one of the best launch lineups of all time with how many studios they have, hands down, from first party exclusive games to multi-platform third party games like Call of Duty. They could hands down have one of the best launch lineups if they plan this out appropriately and everything falls in line. Again, devs can't, again, we know it's not an exact science all the time when it comes to dev work. But if they do, the first year could be absolutely just a smashing success out the gate with a brand new console saying, we are here, we call the shots, we are saying the generation starts now, and let's go. And I think that would be a huge boost for them and a boon for them to do so, and really flex, not the hardware per se. Sure, that's going to be big, but flexing their lineup out the gate and saying, you want to come play the best and biggest games? We got them over here. 100%. Elder Scrolls 6, you're not getting that anywhere else. Oh, you want to play it at its best quality? You don't have a PC? Get the Series XX, right? That's basically what it's going to come down to. And I think that they have an advantage there and a real opportunity.
So do you think it just adds fuel to the fire with somebody like that Kestrel that's a known data miner that gets this kind of information, or Kepler, sorry. He came up with something that he feels like is justified and actually questioning, like, well, this isn't what I've heard, like, it seems like there's something there, right? That, we also remember the reports that had come out about Xbox partnership with different with ARM instead, I think, of AMD, like, and stuff like that's pretty early, right? If we were launching in 2028.
That's the other thing though, Mav. Let's say that Xbox is going to introduce something different. Let's say that the cloud hybrid console was true. What happens if that's their next console release, right? They do something different. They have an AI chip in it, again, I know machine learning's already in there. I get it. AI is already there, but I'm saying their chip that they're developing for AI, if they get that in there, is some kind of cloud hybrid with an ARM setup, that kind of stuff. Maybe it's just like an alternative option to what the Series X. Maybe they say, okay, we're going to go in this direction instead this time around. So it doesn't matter when we launch because we're not launching one for one with what anybody else is doing. We're doing something completely different. We're introducing, cloud development work now because Kojima's been working on his game. It's going well. We're going to introduce that. Maybe it's just like a whole separate line. Like, hey, here's a new console setup, right? That we're going to do. I think it makes sense there as well. Would it be early? Yes, of course, because that means you would have had to switch over your R&D work very early on to make that happen, because it's not a snap of the fingers to do all the R&D work and then to go into production on top of it and get that all lined up for an early launch. They would have had to make this decision like in 2021, maybe 2022 max, last year max. They would have had to make the decision to go in a whole different direction. But yeah, certainly a possibility, Mav. Certainly.
Yeah. It's interesting with the hardware side. You never really know what they're going to do, rumors come out, leaks come out and stuff, plans always change, and then it's like not really until about a year before you get something, or 2 years before at the earliest that you really start hearing things about like rumors and leaks coming out about like what the real stuff is. So at some point we'll know what that roadmap will be, but I can guarantee you one thing, like unless there's some huge fucking surprise, they're not going to be talking about this anytime soon, So
we will be
maybe like that, or some kind of revision for like a slimmer model or something like that, or if the diskless thing wasn't canceled, then maybe that, potentially my dream would be for them to do like a dockable Series S handheld type thing as well.
Correct.
That would be awesome, but Don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see and how this all plays out.
No.
Interesting conversation, though. Nothing wrong with speculating on it.
Nope.
And just to clarify,
We do.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the hardware today at all, right? You know what I mean?
No.
But I think a lot of people don't really look forward when they have these conversations, right? Or they talk about things. And I try and take myself out of where I am today and think about what the thought process and what the mindset of people will be like 2-3 years from now, right?
Right.
And that is pretty predictable, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Based on history, right? Like,
for the
like,
enthusiast section, for those of us that keep up with the tech and do all, absolutely.
People we've been following this stuff. We know the trends and what mindsets are and all these kind of things. And it's just, I think 2 or 3 years from now, there'll be a lot of different kind of conversations about this, especially if there is a PS5 Pro out there and not another Xbox, right? So we'll find out. We'll find out, and we'll also find out if this PS5 Pro is even real. We got to find out on that too.
It is.
I think so too.
And we're going to be here talking about it, folks. So again, buckle up, get ready for that, because again, we're coming into interesting times. There's a lot of, sometimes it's easy to read, kind of see the paths, the different paths that these companies can kind of go down. We've certainly done a lot of that. We've been right in a lot of times, right? We've certainly been wrong too, but we've been right in a lot of areas. But this one, Mav, like with how everything's kind of played out and with the pandemic and how that shifted things and how tech doesn't seem to be keeping up with the devs right now, this could go a lot of different directions, brother. This could go a lot of different. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun no matter what. So can't wait to see. Great conversation, brother. Great conversation. Thank you all for joining us in Speculation Town there for a little bit while we did that. It's going to be fun no matter what. And I can't wait to hear what everybody else thinks as well.
Did you get the Michael Mooney for $5?
Yes.
So the modified AMD? Yeah, you got that one.
Yes, I did. Yep, I got that one. So we're good. Yep. Arthur 1, how old are you, bro? You're late 50s already? No, sir. Late 40s. I am 48. So if you haven't been around, I don't hide it.
He's lying.
Yeah, I'm 48.
Guys, he's 68 years old.
I look even, if I'm 68, damn, then I even got to say I look good.
He's a spry 68-year-old,
Dad, no. My dad did not have me when he was 7. Okay. So that did not happen. All right. Let's see here. Man, we got some fun stuff to get into a little bit here too. Let's go here. I gotta get this out of the way. I gotta get this out of the way because I'm a Sega kid at heart, Mav. I will always be a Sega kid. I hope that Sega someday comes back into the console market or Xbox does make that acquisition. I don't care what you think about acquisition season. I don't care about any of that stuff. I want them to get Sega. But Sega right now, Mav, after showing up at the Game Awards and announcing five games coming back, classic IP that they've had collecting dust in their closet, much like we were talking about Sony and PlayStation, and Xbox certainly has their closet full of great IP too. But Sega comes back and the CEO comes out and says, we want to get back to our Dreamcast days. We want to get kind of back to that rebel attitude in the games industry. Right now, Sega is speaking to that young kid in me, Mav. They are literally doing this. So they announced Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, and what was the last one? Shinobi. Yeah. So those are the 5 that they announced at the Game Awards. I'm sure you guys saw it. Looking great. They're not reinventing the wheel, but they certainly are taking things like Golden Axe in a new direction and making it look freaking spectacular. Crazy Taxi, adding cops, updating graphics, Jet Set Radio. Holy, blown away by what Sega's doing. This week, Mav, Gematsu, all right, this Gematsu site starts reporting that they have filed more trademarks, Mav. And the names on these trademarks are absolutely insane.
Yep.
So, okay, I'll go with the first set of 4 that we got. Altered Beast. Yo, Altered Beast.
It's a game that's hard to go back and play because the controls are so like
Correct.
horrible, right? But like
Correct.
I actually bought it like and tried to go back
Yes.
and play it, and it's
Yeah.
just like, man,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
play now. But man, I could like imagining like a reimagined like new version
Correct.
of what that could be today.
Yes.
It would be a
Yes.
brand new like experience entirely. I would.
Right.
I saw that. That's the one that jumped out at me. I'm like, hell
Okay.
yes, bring that back. It's just such a cool. It was such a cool fucking game back in the day, bro.
So many quarters, man, in the machine, in the arcades. Oh my god, man. Altered Beast, great.
Yeah.
Jet Set Radio, we already talked about Jet
Yep.
Set Radio. They got trademark. Kid Chameleon. Freaking great game, bro. Great game. Kind of a Metroidvania,
Yeah.
right? Kid Chameleon. You had to go get different powers and different items and that kind of stuff. Kid Chameleon, fantastic. There's a huge fan base of Kid Chameleon fans out there. Then my personal favorite. This is a game I've talked about on shows. This is a game that I reminisce about because this is the only fighter. I love fighting games. You guys all know this, but I don't play them competitively. I button mash. I play on easier modes. I play the single player versions. I don't care. I love fighters. I'm just not competitive, and I ain't taking the time to learn all the moves and to learn the frames and learn all that kind of nonsense. I just want to play the fighters, to experience them, to see the animations, to see all the coolness that comes with fighting games, right? But back in the day, there was one fighting game that I took serious, Mav, because we had tournaments. We had employee tournaments at Funkelland after hours for this game. And I did not want to be embarrassed because we had some damn good players that worked at Funkelland. So I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I actually practiced this game at home. I actually learned a couple of the characters and learned some of the moves. And this game was freaking dope. And not a lot of people know this game unless you were back then you were playing. But it is called Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
A lot of people, if I said Sega's bringing back a fighter, most people would say, oh, Virtual Fighter has come back. No, they talked about that. Somebody asked them about that, and they said it's a more technical fighter, doesn't have a whole lot of flash like you see in the other fighters. We're trying to figure out how we could possibly make that happen. So what do? They go get a character-based, driven fighting game in Eternal Champions that took from Mortal Kombat, and they had level deaths, specific animations that you could make happen to finish off the enemy in the level. Eternal Champions is freaking fantastic. The cartridge was cool. The Sega CD version was even better because they added things like cutscenes, which somebody reminded me of on X this week. And the music was even better, of course, through the CD. But Eternal Champion, never in a million years, Math, never in a freaking million years would I have ever guessed when I saw this name had been trademarked by Sega. I made a post, and I was surprised by how many people do remember this game, how many people did have fond memories. Now, there were some other people who said, well, it was known for other things back in the day. Sure, was it the greatest fighter of all time? No, it wasn't. But damn if it wasn't one of the most stylish fighters back in the day. It was so damn cool. Go check it out. Eternal Champions, if they actually do bring this back, I'm going to be so freaking happy, man. I may shed a tear because this is the only fighting game I ever took serious. Yeah. Did you ever play Eternal Champions?
I mean, I remember it, and
okay.
I think I did, but it's one of those, it's like, I may have played it either at a friend's house or like at Target or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. On a kiosk or whatever. Yep. What is it on the Genesis?
Yep. It was on Genesis and then Sega CD. Yeah. And then Sega CD. Yep.
Yeah, my friends had the Genesis. I didn't have the Genesis. I had the Master System, and then I had a SNES. So, but yeah, I know I had a friend that had a lot of had the Genesis, and I played a lot of those games. So it's not one I played a lot of, right? But I recognize it when looking at it. I think it was what I remember from it was a feeling like it was Sega's attempt to compete with Street Fighter.
Yeah, but it had more Mortal Kombat to it than it did Street Fighter.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah, it did. It with the characters and how they did. everything about that game. And again, they had the level specific fatalities. Like they had one,
Right.
somebody here, who was it in the chat here? Heck yeah, Eternal Champ. This is Joshua Erickson says, heck yeah, Eternal Champions bring back stage fatalities, especially the Washington, D.C. stage. There was an old Chicago stage. One of the dudes was like a 1930s, 40s detective styled character. And if you were in his stage, it was like outside of like a old time movie theater with the, you know, with the big lights and that kind of stuff. And if you pulled off his stage fatality, they would do a drive-by mob shooting with Tommy guns. Bro, it was so damn cool, man. There's another one where there's a giant fan on the stage and you could throw somebody into the fan and they would just get splattered everywhere. There's so much coolness to Eternal Champ. And my mind runs with, okay, listen, even if they're not going to rebuild this thing from the ground up, right? But let's say they just take it and bring it back, update all the controls because, you know, it was a slower fighter. It wasn't a fast fighter. They could do so much with those stage fatalities and just, oh my God, it'd be so glorious. And again, the characters, the main character, they were all original characters. They were all unique and they were all cool. They had a merman, like a freaking merman in there, man. It was just wild. They had a wizard in there, right? They had the mob guy. They had so much style and just coolness. They had taunts in there. They had the wizard. I forget his name. Was his name Beck or something like that? I think the wizard used to taunt, and all he would say was, simpleton, like just calling you a simpleton.
Didn't they have a Blade in there? A character named Blade?
Yes, they had a character named Blade in there as well. Yep, they sure did.
It kind of looks like Blade.
Kind of looks like Blade. He had the sunglasses. He was kind of Green Lantern crossed with Blade, kind of in a way. Yes, yep.
Okay.
But yes, so that was the big one for me. But that it didn't end there because then today Gematsu came out with another confirmed list, and they still like they included some of the stuff that they announced at the Game Awards too, right? So, but they had some more in here, Mav. And now listen to this. Alex Kidd, another classic, all-time classic from Sega. Alex Kidd is in this one. Afterburner, Mav. Oh my God, you give me an up-to-date Afterburner. Listen, okay, I love Ace Combat. I love flying around. I love flight sim, but you give me like a, just a straight up arcade style shooter with freaking modern airplanes in Afterburner. I'm all about this, man. Afterburner, Crazy Taxi. We all know about.
Afterburner is one that stood out for me as well. That's the game I fucking loved, man. I played the shit out of Afterburner back in the day.
Did you play? Did you guys have the arcade with the full moving?
I had
the whole cockpit moved.
No.
Okay.
I had. Maybe we did. I mean, I had.
That was the cool arcades, right? The regular arcades always had the stand up Afterburner, right? Blah blah blah, or just a plain sit down. And then they had the big giant cabinet that they brought out, where the whole thing moved forward and backwards as you were flying. Like it was insane. That was when you were at a real arcade.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how my memory sucks. I know I played the shit out of this game. I can hear the music in my head. I can know what the sounds are like and all this stuff. But I can't tell you where I played it. But I know I played the shit out of it. Did it release was there an Afterburner on the Master System?
I can check real quick here. Hold on. I don't know if they released it on the Master System. Let's see if they did.
I don't know how I played so much Afterburner if it didn't.
Yes, they did.
Okay, that's where I fucking played Afterburner.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Absolutely. And I probably played at the arcades too. I'm recognizing I'm looking at it online now. I recognize the arcade cabinet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. A lot of quarters in that thing.
I could have swore we might have even had a flight stick at home for the Master System. I'm not 100% on that or not, but I loved it. It was my first. This was my first flight game. It was my first flying game.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So it was like, holy shit, you're flying a jet, blowing up shit. That's what I remember from Afterburner. And it had great music. It was super cool, right? And Top Gun was all the rage back then. You know what I mean? So I felt like I was playing Top Gun, you know, in a way when I was playing that game. So I fucking love it. It has a nostalgia thing for me in the back of my mind. I was really little though, you know, really young.
Yep. Oh my God. Somebody in the chat brought up General Chaos, one of the first RTSs I ever played on the Genesis, like super light RTS, Mav. But if you look at the cover and see if you ever, it was published by Electronic Arts. So no, I don't think Sega owned it. It was
Chaos.
General Chaos. Look at the cover. You will. I almost guarantee it. If you spend any time in game,
recognize this cover.
Yes. Everybody recognizes the cover, bro. I own that game multiple times. That game was so dope. But yeah, it was published by EA, so I'm assuming EA owns it. It was developed by Game Refuge, shockingly enough. Not joke. Refuge, excuse me. Refuge. But yes, General Chaos. My God, what a trip back memory lane, man. It's so freaking dope, man. All right, so we were at Afterburner, Crazy Taxi, we already knew about. House of the Dead, dope. Bring it back. I wish we could get light guns that work on OLEDs. It'd be sweet. House of the Dead, Outrun, Mav.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you put money into Outrun.
The shit out of
Outrun. But,
God. I'm pretty sure I also had Outrun at home. I can even picture the box. Had a little red car on it, you know.
Yeah, I think Outrun was on NES back in the day at one point.
Yeah, a Master System is where I would have played it the most. But yeah, I played the shit out of Outrun, and that's one I put a lot of money in at the arcades for sure. You know, both 100%. That was the racing game. You know, there was that, and then when F-Zero finally came out, there's F-Zero.
Sure,
that you know,
of course, absolutely. Outrun, dope. Shinobi, we already knew about. Streets of Rage, we already knew about, and then Super Monkey Ball will continue. Mav, Super Monkey Ball sounds like they might reboot that sucker. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with a new Super Monkey Ball if they do decide to go back and kind of redesign. But yeah, again, I had to bring this up, man, because as a Sega kid, as somebody who, you know, again, Dreamcast is my favorite console of all time, still to this day. Series X is a close, probably tied with 360 as a second. I don't know. I'm bad at doing that.
Yeah.
Because I have so many memories. But I am a Sega fan through and through. And Sega fans have been clamoring for Sega to do exactly this. Like, you don't have to go do exactly what Capcom did and go, you know, remake from the ground up everything into modern, you know, games like they've done with Resident Evil. But Capcom has done what you should do, Sega, which was go back to those old IP and bring them back in some form. I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know if this is part of their super game. Are they thinking about doing a light subscription service, Mav? Is this going to be a package deal where they kind of package some of these games together in collections? I don't exactly know how they're going to do it, but I don't care right now. What I care about is this. Sega said, you know what? We've heard y'all. We appreciate the nostalgia. We understand that we have a fan base that has wanted a lot of these titles to come back for a long time. Now, they still got some more to go here. Why no Skies of Arcadia? Really, Sega? Really? Like, come on, man. Make it. You got some RPGs you could bring back, but that's for another day. Right now, I'm just simply enjoying the fact that Sega said, screw all this noise. We're going to pull these out of the closet. We're going to dust them off, and we're going to do something with these great titles. And for the older fans out there, we're all about this. I will buy these games. I will buy your revision style, these games. What I saw, what you showed me at the Game Awards, every single one of them looked fucking amazing. I will be there, Sega, day one. And you will have a big fan base that will be as well. So keep doing this, Sega. Keep doing this. I want to see Sega succeed. And a lot of this, Mav, I think has to do with their partnership with Xbox and what they got going on with the Super Game stuff. I think that has inspired them to do a lot of these things. And I think that it's going to work out in their favor. I think Sega's on its way back.
Do you think there's a chance like they could be Game Pass like games? Not like I'm not trying to say, oh, Game Pass only has it's but you look at the company's decision to make these kind of games, right? Having, you know, a bag up front for them is one thing, right? Because you're taking the risk away. But also, you know, you're going to get an audience 100%
Yes.
into them. So, you know, it for doing a project like this, I'm wondering if this is opening some avenues for them to be able to do that. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Games could be $70 a piece for all I fucking know. I don't think they're going to, you
I
know,
don't think so.
but they seem like they're probably going to be like $50 or less type games, right?
Or I would say 30. I would say 30 for what I
Right.
saw from Crazy Taxi, because they weren't like full, like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
bleeding edge. It was like, oh, these games are like, they look kind of like their old versions. They're just doing more with them,
Right.
right? So, and updating, obviously, all that good stuff. So yeah, I would think like $30 games, like a whole plethora of $30 games.
It'd be
I'm on
fucking
board.
amazing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love the idea, and what I do hope they're really good, and I hope they're well
Yes.
made, fully fleshed out, replayable, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff, and I hope they find success if they are good, because then that will catch the eyes of other companies that are sitting on treasure troves and mountains of IP, like
Correct.
Xbox and like other companies, where they could look at it and be like, okay, like
Yes.
we don't have to reinvent and
Right.
completely do a whole ass like 7-year development cycle project to bring some of these games back and really make it like everything anybody could ever possibly dream of, and like, you know,
Right.
really rehab, like reboot, you know. Instead you could like look at it and be like, okay, what did people love about these games, and
Correct.
how could we bring this into the modern era a little bit and make them more playable, more fun, and you know, keep that same spirit that they had, right? And
Yep.
there's so many classic franchises and games like this. The only company that really does this still is Nintendo. Now, Nintendo does charge the $60 for these types of games, right? Because that's really what's on their platform. Honestly, like if I'm
Right.
being honest, is a bunch of these kind of things, right?
Yep.
And I think that, you know, Sega could recapture that Sega magic, but be on Xbox, be on PlayStation, be other
Yep.
places, right? As that Nintendo-esque feeling and types of games on other platforms. I love it, man. Absolutely love it.
Absolutely. And with games like Afterburner and Outrun, make the leaderboards a big deal. Like go all out into that, because now, obviously, with the internet and with everything being connected, massive updated leaderboards constantly getting people to run through those. Again, games like Afterburner, Outrun, where you can get your high scores, where you can get your times and all that kind of stuff. We've seen other games take advantage of that on the Switch, right? And that kind of stuff. Sega's got a perfect opportunity to bring that arcade experience back home again. And I think that the way that they're showing these games off, again, they're not, oh my God, they're bringing UE5, Streets of Rage to us. That's not what they're going for. Like you said, Matt, they're holding on to what made those games great, just making them for 2023. And I think that if they continue that road with all of these, I'm all on board. Again, I will be there day one, Sega. I will be. These look fantastic. This list just blew me away. And
Yeah.
please, Eternal Champions, make that a reality.
Man,
I
with the
man,
amount, like how often do you think these things could release once they
what
start
I'm
get
saying.
going, you know?
Right. What kind of do they release a
Because
collection,
I want to
or
play
do
them
they
all, to be
space them
honest with
out?
you,
Right,
you
right. That's what
know?
I'm saying. Could we have one big collection? Could they, release, one or two per month for a while if they've got them all lined up, or maybe one or two per quarter, right? And they just launch it. They call it like the Sega Classic Collection, but they just kind of launch them,
What
spaced
if
out
they
over
yeah,
time.
what if they did like, you know,
Yeah,
like a orange box situation and release like
sure.
three of them
Right.
together
That's
for like a full
perfect.
price package,
Right, for
you
a full
know?
price? Yeah, yeah, for $70, release 3 of them. Hell yeah, man. 2 of them for $70,
Yeah, because
fine,
these
that's
aren't
fine.
just like, you
Yeah,
know, your Capcom Classic Collection or
no,
whatever these other
right.
companies are doing all the
No,
time.
no,
You know, a
these
television lives, or what, what all these things.
right,
You
right,
get 80 games and they're like transported
right.
directly to your new console, and they're like, it's like you play it for like a minute. You're like, oh yeah, that was
Right.
cool, you know. But these are bringing them to modern times. You know, that's what I
Maybe
love
they
about
do
it.
it maybe they do a Sega channel and do it $5 a month or $10 a month, something
Oh
like that, a
wow,
Sega
yeah.
channel, bro, and attach it, right? Make it an offering on
Do a whole
everything,
theme
right?
like that
Yeah,
90s
right,
style like
right.
marketing from Sega
Yes,
too. Fucking
yes.
sick,
Oh,
man.
bro, there's so many different ways they could go with this. It'd be so dope.
Yeah.
I'd be all in. Yep, absolutely. But I had to give my props out to Sega because they are killing it right now. They're speaking my language.
Yeah,
So yeah, go ahead.
That's to say, I think they, like
Yeah.
you said, they learned a little bit from Capcom. I think,
Yep.
on this.
Why not? Why not? They should.
Yeah,
right?
but they're also
They
doing
should.
things a little differently, So
They are. They're trying new
putting their
things with
own-
Sonic. They're doing that stuff, right? They've got a lot of success in a lot of different areas, but it's just that classic collection. What are you going to do? Why let them just sit there? Why let them? It doesn't make any sense to just let them sit there. So I'm just glad they're doing something. Fuck. And there's so much more. Like I said, they've got RPGs. Skies are Arcadia. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh man,
That one,
that's the
one. That one should be remade. It should be given
the full
its
treatment.
proper due, the full
Mhm.
treatment. Remake that sucker. Okay. I'm not saying you have to go, like Final Fantasy VII, break it up over 3 games or anything like that. But go back to the drawing board, redo that entire game up to date, and you will have a hit, Sega. You will.
Yeah.
There is a huge fan base that would be all over that game. Man. Plus, you draw new people in. That game is underrated a lot.
And I also do want them to bring back Virtua Fighter.
Yes,
but that's
absolutely.
one that I think needs to be like the full treatment also.
That does, and yeah, from the sounds of that's exactly what they're thinking about right now. They're trying to figure out how to bring, because to compete now with your Mortal Kombats, with your Street Fighters, right? To compete with Tekken 8, which is already from the final previews, Mav. I don't know if you read those final previews or listened to them. Tekken 8's already getting whispered early game of the year nod for 2024. Because they're adding this whole story mode. They're going deep into the story, and everybody's like, I was not expecting all this from Tekken. Holy cow, this is great.
Man, I love this shit. These like niche fighting games that used to be niche, these kind of games going in with the big budgets again, man. Like freaking Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like Tekken 8, like bring it all, but what we do miss is the random other games that kind of come out that are also bigger,
Yes.
So I would like to see Soul Calibur come back, Dead or Alive come back. I want to see all these franchises. I want to see Virtua Fighter, like we talked about, but also bring back Killer Instinct, bring back. I just fucking love when all these genres are thriving with options, because it keeps them all competing against each other. And that we're getting that more so this generation than last, for sure. So
Absolutely. Tekken 8 is slowly becoming a day one for me, which never happens on fighters. I always wait till sales because I only play them single player. But honestly, the FOMO is starting to get to me looking at these videos. Tekken 8 is looking extra crispy right now.
Man, Mortal Kombat 1 story mode is so fucking cool.
I can't wait. I will get that when it goes on sale.
So
and they're coming out with a big expansion for it, just like they did with 11. So I will wait for the complete package on that one. But yeah, I can't wait. From what you've told me, from what I've been hearing, I'm going to enjoy the hell out of that too, because that's what I play them for. So I can't wait, man. But like you said, it's so exciting to see that genre have a comeback. Now we just need a couple of the more of the other ones to make their return as well.
Do you think they are? Do you think like Bandai Namco is like out there working on Soul Calibur and
I think they have to be with the resurgence here in the sales and kind of the popularity. I think they got to be kind of licking their chops a little bit and saying we can get back in this. The last Soul Calibur disappointed a lot of people. I personally like the create your fighter mode. I personally had a really good time with it. I enjoyed the adventure mode that they had in there where you kind of leveled up your character and all that kind. That was damn cool. I know it didn't hit for everybody, but if they come back and lean into the old Soul Calibur, even get a couple licensed characters to join the crew like they used to back in the day when they had Darth and Yoda and Spawn and Link. They even had Link in one. If they go back to that, Mav, Soul Calibur has a place, bro, for sure. For sure. Yep. All right, Mav, we are 3 hours in, sir. Holy cow, you and I have not talked in a long time.
It feels like, I know. We had our Xbox Ultimate and we had our show last week and stuff, but besides that, it's like, it's it.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. You know what I'm excited for, Mav? You know what I'm excited for? Because Keeley has now opened the can of worms, I'm excited for 2-3 years from now when Starfield gets best ongoing game, Mav, because I'm really excited for that war. Maybe next year. Yeah,
go.
expansion. They could get it next year, but I'm just saying, let's say they take the CDPR road, right? With Cyberpunk. And let's say they show up, because Bethesda came out this week, Mav, and said they are hard at work on many new features for Starfield, from city maps to mod support to all new ways of traveling. These will be rolling out with a regular cadence. That's ongoing, Mav. A regular cadence of fixes and updates we expect to have roughly every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Starfield is going to be a different game in a couple years. And some of the people, some of the haters, some of the non-believers, much like Cyberpunk, Mav, I think that Starfield, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years out, gonna have a lot more fans that were once haters attached to it. What do you think?
Yeah, there's some of these people that are pretending to be haters are fans now. You know what I mean?
Course.
Like it's or they're fans, but they're still got to make sure that everybody knows how they feel about certain aspects of the game or whatever. And that's fine, whatever. I get it. Ultimately the narrative has been pushed around so much about this game being like didn't meet expectations, or it's mid, or all this thing is like, but that's not the reality of it. Like the game's immensely successful. The game actually did overall review really well. In fact, it's reviewed as well as some other former Game of the Year winners on Meta, despite the obvious stuff out there trying to bring it down, right? And all these things, like it's been a huge success for them. And I've been saying from the get-go, because again, like we talked about, like conversations sometimes easy to predict what it's going to be a few years in the future, right? And from the get-go, when all these people were doing all this stuff early on, I was like, man, the conversation around this game is going to be so fucking different 2 or 3 years from now. People are going to be talking about how immense and amazing Starfield is and all these different things, and like talk about like what a amazing, ambitious game and experience it is, and how come other games can't like do what they did and they push things forward and all this stuff. That's going to be what the conversations are, and people are still going to be playing the damn game. And I honestly feel like that. And like it's just because hindsight is 2020. When you look back and you realize, oh shit, like maybe I was being a little overly nitpicky or critical about something that was so ambitious and focused on all the wrong things. And at this point now, like, wow, I see that like that really was this crazy, super ambitious game that pushed Bethesda games forward. And, at that point, I would probably be like 20, 30 million players easy. You know what I mean? So they're already over 12. So it's just easy to predict this kind of stuff, man. And I feel like the game's going to keep getting updated. It's going to get mod support. Game's going to be great. We've already seen immense improvements in the even just the quality aspects of the game with updates since launch. That some of these things really weren't heavy complaints on, even that they've already improved. They weren't like heavily focused on and things like that. But you're going to keep seeing this stuff. And man, 2 years from now, dude, this game is going to still stand above the rest in many ways. And it'll be one of those games people look back at and be like, was that one of the greatest games of all time? I honestly feel like that, dude. I honestly feel like that. It's like people just don't realize what they got right now with it.
No, and Bethesda themselves are continuing to work on this game, and they have made the commitment that they're going to continue to work on this game. And that is, that is the most important part. The modding community is going to do, again, we're going to have a full-fledged Star Wars game. They've already got people, again, some of the Star Wars mods that are already out there. And again, remember that they haven't even officially launched mod support. That comes next year. But people are already diving in, creating full Star Wars. It's going to be the modding community is going to create all these crazy games, but Bethesda themselves, I think, are going to add a ton of content to this game, Mav. They're going to come out with new modes for this game. They've already now said they're going to introduce new transportation modes in this game. So what this game is today won't be, and maybe, I believe, just like you, Mav, that some of those haters that do generally like this game, but, make their criticisms more well-known about what's not there, they're going to have what they think is missing from this game, and that whole tune is going to change down the road about what they actually feel about Starfield. And again, this is I don't care either way. Again, for me, it's my game of the year, my game of the generation. It's everything I wanted out of Bethesda game. And if that makes me weird, if that makes me fake a capper, what, I don't give a shit. For me, this truly is the best exploration game I've ever played from Bethesda. It sets itself apart in so many different ways. So, but I'm just happy that Bethesda, and they usually do, are committed to adding to this game and making it that much better. And shout out to Jay Gaming 1986, who just came in here and just said, "Can you please yell, 'We got Blade, bitches'?" Mav, can you yell that?
We got Blade, bitches. What you got to say about that, huh, motherfuckers? We got Blade. Fuck you. We
do
got
have
it.
Blade.
You don't.
We do.
Bitches, motherfucker.
Oh, so much fun. Also, Mav, today from Bethesda too. Everybody's been kind of asking about that Fallout 4 current gen, I should say, patch that we were supposed to get this year. We were actually supposed to get it summertime, they said originally, I think. They finally put out an update on that and said, thank you all for your patience with us as we work on the Fallout 4 next gen update. We know you're excited, and so are we, but we need a bit more time and look forward to an exciting return to the Commonwealth in 2024. So that has been pushed to 2024, as we kind of speculated it might. Along with the TV series coming out next year, it makes a lot of sense. I think they might be doing a little bit extra with this one too, Mav. I think maybe they got to work on it and then said, you know what, we can do something a little bit more with this patch, and I think we're going to make things even better. So I think that it's going to be worth the wait. Again, I'm not complaining because I got plenty to play. I can't wait to jump back into it, but 2024, we're going to, on top of everything else, Mav, we can hop back into Fallout 4 and experience something even better than we used to. Like, crazy.
Oh yeah, it's more, man. More goodness awaits.
More goodness awaits. Absolutely. Oh, Mav, what do you want? You want anything else?
I'll say we can give a pour one out for E3 is officially dead.
Yes, we should probably do that. I think most people realize that. We had conversations over the past 2 years about this. So yeah, Mav, they did officially come out, the ESA, and announce that E3 is no more in any way, shape, or form. It is done. It is toast. It is buried. The ashes are sitting on somebody's fireplace mantle somewhere. Yeah. So
it went the way of factions.
Yep, it went the way of factions. Maybe Bungie told the ESA that it just wasn't good enough, and they decided to cancel it too. It's just, I'm sad because I never got to an E3. Am I over the top sad? No, because I think I had already missed the prime of E3. I'm more sad that I never went way back in the day when E3 was legitimately the mecca of gaming, right? When everybody there was there. Nintendo was there, PlayStation was there, Xbox was there, Sega was, everybody showed up at E3. I'm more sad that I never got during that time frame than now, but I still would have liked at some point to have said I went to an E3, maybe meet up with you guys or whatever else and actually join in and do that thing. So it is kind of sad. And again, I've said that E3, I thought still had its place. I still thought that the name meant something. It still had power. It still could have been returned to something of glory, but obviously didn't work out that way. So what are your feelings, Mav? E3 being buried once and for all.
Yeah, it's sad. It's something I'd always dreamt of going to one day. I feel like we were close to being at that point, and it's gone. Replaced now by Keighley Summer Game Fest, which is not really like a huge in-person event. You know what I mean? So I honestly feel like, the digital age kind of just took over, and, these big booths and stuff like that, companies didn't really see the value in spending all that money to get these huge booths booked and do all that for when most of the traction, everything's online, so that aspect's gone. But one of the things that since we started the channel, I've become most excited for is just the opportunity and chance to meet a lot of people in the community. And I feel like that opportunity is still there. Like whether it's at
Yep.
E3 or whether it's going to be at the Xbox like Summer Game Fest thing that they have, whatever they call it. So where you see a lot of people get together then last year to try and
Packs.
yeah,
Pass
you have
is
your
getting
stuff
big.
like PAX and stuff like that.
Yep.
So there's still gonna be the opportunities, there's still gonna be the events, right? And for me, it's like it's really the big show every year is the Xbox show. Like, regardless of what platform you're a fan of, like, there's like actually have people show up and do things, and they get the community involved and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking an eye on maybe for next year, right? And I don't know whatever kind of in person thing Keeley does for that. Maybe they kind of expand upon it. I don't know. But then after that, it's like maybe a Comic Con or PAX or like I don't know. I don't know what to go to now. But I'm hoping to cross my fingers for Summer Game Fest
There
2024.
you go. Well, Xbox themselves basically are going to have an E3 at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I mean, they got ABK and they got all this stuff, man. It's like, I'm still gonna be able to. What I've always wanted to do is be like in the audience in one of these big reveal shows.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I want to be there. I want to hang around people. I want to meet people beforehand. I want to kind of go around and maybe meet some of the developers and some of the people and stuff, and then people in the community and stuff. Then I want to sit down and watch the conference on a big ass screen in front of me with other fans and celebrate the announcements for gaming. And that's always kind of what I had in my mind of what I dreamed to do one day. E3 being gone is the end of an era. I think there's a new era ahead of us still to be had. And maybe the ending of one thing is the beginning of another, right? So that's the way I'll look at it. And maybe 10 years from now, people will be like, I remember those days when they had those kinds of shows and stuff. And remember how awesome it was. Maybe that's what people will be talking about in the future. So maybe we'll be able to be a part of that. And I hope so. I really want to go next year. I think it's going to happen.
Nice. Yeah, plenty of places to still do stuff. Again, E3 just because I grew up with it, right? Because it was such a mainstay for video gaming and really was the mecca, as I called it before, for video games. It's
everything all at once,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Just reading about them in the magazines all the damn time, right? And seeing what came out of E3. And a lot of people pointed out, a lot of people in the industry have pointed out that E3 back in the day was where deals were made.
Yeah.
Like they legit did deals on the floor. There's stories of licensing agreements being done at the bars after E3 on the floor when they would go party at the bars on napkins and being signed like licensing deals. Like that's what E3 was back then. Like that's the time that I look back and go, God, man, I wish that was still around. So, crazy, but we all kind of knew it was coming to an end. So there was just no turning back at this point. The day before, Mav, is the day gone. Now, the day before lasted all of 3 days. Steele was supposed to stream it. He literally played it and refunded it instantaneously after about 20 minutes or so. And the developer said, yeah, guess what, guys? We're out too. Fantastic. Came out and announced 3 days after launch that they were closing up shop, not supporting the game. The game was done. Steam pulled it down. They are refunding everybody who requests it, no matter how much you've played it. This was basically a scam all along. It turned out to be a scam. I had hoped that it wasn't a scam, but as time went on and we saw more and more that the original reveal was bullshit, that there was nothing real about this game, I kind of came to the realization that it probably was, but I still clung on to hope because a Division zombie game, I'm all about that. And I thought that it had some cool things to it, but obviously it was all bullshit. It was all a scam. And they closed down and really they ended it properly on their social media account, X formerly known as Twitter. Fantastic HQ put out when somebody said, unbelievable. This Kuiper shot said, unbelievable that you guys hyped this game up so much. And this is the end result. You guys are an absolute disgrace to the video game industry. and their social media, whoever runs their social media, actually responded. This was our first big experience. Shit happens. Yo, I retweeted this. So many people jumped on this. It became a shitstorm in itself. Yeah, you're right. Shit does happen. It became a shitstorm. I posted the meme, just wrap it up. That says it all right there. Like this be done. And now keep your eyes open because they are rebranding, and there's no doubt about it that they will pull this again.
Yeah,
So
they'll probably change again, like after
Yep.
people stop
Yep.
noticing and stuff. Like, man, you just gotta be careful. Like, we tried
Yep.
to warn people to, hey, there's a chance that this is going to be one of those, too good to be true type games, and then came out when the game looked nothing like what it was ever supposed to be in the first place, or not even the same kind of game.
Yep.
It was like, well, this is obviously they're just put something together, you know what I mean? But I'm impressed that they're actually doing something. Well, it turns out
Right.
it's just even like shittier than anybody could ever possibly imagine. And then you know what, mass refunds, and game failed, and you never seen a company bail out faster than that after a launch, have you? I mean, they just got out where as fast as they possibly could. This was planned. I really believe all along, the whole thing. This was kind of what the guy that was doing that abandoned game had probably planned to do, but just could never really manage to get it together enough to make it happen. But who knows how much investment money he had even got. This company probably got investment money from other investors and stuff. They're counting on people not requesting refunds and just not thinking about it or not trying or whatever. They're counting on that. I implore every single one of you that purchased this game to ask for a refund. If you did not ask for a refund, then you're the victim here, right? The other thing is, I really think Steam should just refund to everybody regardless if they request one. Like, regardless. Just remove it from their account.
Yep.
Refund to everybody despite. Make sure that company does not receive a cent of anybody's money, right? And maybe it's too late for that. I don't know. It's probably too late.
Probably too late.
But that's what I could hope for. They've already taken it. The developers themselves, right? The people that were working on this game, most of them were volunteers that were also duped into being a part of this project, right? So a lot of the volunteer developers, they're also victims in this for their time and their effort to be able to even put out this monstrosity that hit, right? They talked about being a part of a big project, being a part of something, promises and all these things about, you'll be rewarded with, once the game's out and all these things. It's just like it's just all bullshit to begin with. There's a company that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, except how to take advantage of people. And that's what this plan was all along. Every step of the way, you can't trust any damn thing about this whole situation.
Nope.
You can't trust who the people are. You can't trust what the companies are. You can't trust who the investment companies are. Can't trust any of it. Like, just stay away from it. Get your money back from Valve and let Valve fight the fight for you, right? Like, let Valve fight that fight and try and put together the pieces if they possibly can. Because I honestly think that there's probably no way they can even do anything back with the original teams and developers, because they're all probably dissolved fake companies and all this kind of stuff right now. So I had a thought too, like we were talking about this the other day. It was like, but 3-Bit had made a thing, but don't you have to like give your personal identity like when you do a trademark, right? I was like, yeah, but I bet they don't even own the trademark. I bet there's like they got out of it something because somebody else probably got the trademark, so they're just licensing the trademark or whatever and all that kind of stuff. Well, then of course in their Q&A thread they made sure to mention on that same post, Pong, that they don't own the trademark, right? They're trying to remove any kind of responsibility whatsoever for any kind of legal action.
Those are probably their own shell companies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the investors that they're paying back. The investors that they're paying back. Don't you see that like post from the investment company that was like, we're talking to the developers, we're the investor, to make sure everybody gets their money back. Those are the same fucking people, okay?
Right.
Like it's all fake bullshit. It's the same people that when they make the post, all of our money is going back to pay back our and our debtors or investors and stuff. You know, it's them. It's the same people, just different fucking companies and stuff. And like they're probably is gonna have some kind of like lost tax situation here too. They're going to be able to benefit from or whatever. Who knows how deep the rabbit hole goes? But everybody, please just, if you have bought this game, make sure you request your money back. And if you did not, Valve, do the world a service and make sure every single person gets their money back regardless. Just remove it from their accounts, fucking give them their money back. And then you fight on behalf of the gamers. That's what I would ask for. And also the fucking games media, but the storefronts, all these things, do better to protect the fucking customers from things like this in the first place, right? Like, where were you? Where were the questions? Why were you not looking into this further? Why were you not looking into this game, which was from so many, just from the outset, the second we saw the original trailer and find out who this company is that's making this, be like, for real? Like, that seems a little, and then you find out the history of it and the company and everything. You're like, okay, well, this is shady. YouTubers made content about it. YouTubers, but IGNs and all these other things. Like, where's the big articles? Where's the, hey, you know, keep your eye on this, or the previews or whatever to really pressure and make people stay wary of it? Instead, no, just, hey, big trailer. Hey, everybody come click on our trailer. Oh, let's make sure we hype this game up, all this kind of stuff. And the people get fucked because they didn't do their jobs. You know, at the end of the day, games media didn't do their jobs. It should have never been allowed on the store on Steam. Like, I really feel that way. Like,
yep.
These things should not happen. They should not happen. The abandoned situation should have never happened. There's no way that fucking game should have ever been on a PlayStation fucking state of play. Right?
Right.
How the hell did you pull that off? This game should have never seen the light of day without proper verification of who and what in the whole situation, right? Start protecting the fucking consumers more, and that goes to PlayStation, that goes to Valve, that goes to the games media, it goes to everybody that has anything to do with these fucking companies that is taking advantage of those customers like that. You fucking all need to do better. Anyway, sorry.
Facts, man. Facts. They should do better. They should do better. Again, these companies are what they leave black marks on the industry when they come, right? And do stuff like this. They aren't beneficial to the industry. We want to see small teams succeed. We want to see new developers come along and do good things. But when a developer comes along and cuts corners and takes advantage of people and falsifies, you know, what their game is, like to the degree that we saw with this, and of course to Mav's point, abandon as well, and actually get some type of actual, you know, notoriety for it, or get some advertising for it, or get some attention for it, and then this winds up happening at the end of the day. This is the shady side of the business, and this is the part that it does leave just little bit of dirt behind on the industry. And this is why you always got to keep your antennas up. Again, I had my blinders on a little bit with this game just because what I saw originally looked so damn cool. And I was like, oh my God, somebody's going to try to make a Division Zombies style, you know, DayZ type game with survival. And we're going to have MMO style. We're going to have multiplayer in this thing and all that kind of cool stuff. But at the end of the day, it turned out to be exactly what everybody said it was going to be, which was nothing but a big scam. And again, the industry has to look at this. Places like Steam, like Mav, we're talking about, you know, have to look at this to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't continuously happen, doesn't become a bigger problem.
It was a #1 requested game on Steam.
Yeah,
like
it was.
With the alarm bells out there, like as a company, like maybe you know, I'm not saying that maybe every fucking game you have to go through this process of like of you know, making sure it's legitimate and all this kind of stuff. But a game like that, you know, that's #1 and has all these like red flags, you see all these people talking about, maybe like invest, like look into it a little bit somehow. I don't know what they're allowed to do and not, but man, like so many people got got screwed. And like it's the people that bought it that aren't really following things and don't really care, just saw it there. Maybe they pre-purchased it a while back and all this kind of stuff. They're just kind of like not going to go request a refund on Steam. At the end of the day, Steam will make money off of that, and so will those people, right? So, it's a shame.
It is a shame. It is a shame. But yep. So I think Mav, unless there's something else you want to touch on, sir, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think we're good to go, man. What a show.
Yeah, yep.
3 hours and 36 minutes. And
yeah, man, what a comeback show, right? After a long break. Well, again, we had the Game Awards, but again, just for me and Mav sitting on PM of the PM, it was a long break, that's for sure. Longest one we've ever had. I don't think we've ever gone that long without actually doing a PM of the PM since we started. Shout out real quick too, Mav, to the developers at 3D Realms and Slipgate as well over at Embracer Group. The latest Embracer Group casualties. This is not ending anytime soon, folks. But the 3D Realms, obviously, anybody who's played video games for a couple decades, you guys will obviously recognize 3D Realms. And Slipgate is just, I think they're a newer studio too, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Shout out to the devs. Hope you all find new places, new homes. Again, and I'd like to say that it's over with and that Embracer's done now cutting, but I don't think that's the case. So again, $2 billion is a lot of money to make up to your investors. And since Lars, good old Lars Wingefors, again, somebody I was excited about. I admit when I'm wrong. Made a bad backroom deal with the Saudi investors for a handshake $2 billion and bet his whole company on that. This is the result. And this is another black eye on the industry. A lot of people threw up red flags on Embracer Group. I saw the vision. I saw what Lars was trying to do. Again, had no idea that he had a handshake for $2 billion. So this is costing a lot of studios and people their jobs, and a lot of studios with actual history. Some studios are brought back to life underneath the Embracer Group, like the Time Splitters devs, are now gone again. And this is an extremely unfortunate situation. This is big money. This is what happens, but sad for them. But I hope you all find jobs somewhere soon, for sure.
Yep.
All right, Mav. Let's get everybody out of here. What
Hasbro too.
Yeah.
Hasbro
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
1100. Yep. Crazy.
Crazy. This is Whew. This is the ugly side. This is the ugly side of this great thing that we do call capitalism. So when shit goes sideways, it goes sideways bad, and little people suffer. 1000%. Big people don't suffer usually. So, but yeah, I hope everybody finds jobs. But thank you all for joining us tonight on the return of classic PM in the PM tonight. Pong and Mav in the PM. Most Thursday nights. We are coming into holiday season, so we'll see how things shake out where Mav and I are at. I'm expecting us to have a show next week, and then we'll see after that. But we are back, folks, and thank you all for joining us. You guys brought the energy tonight. You guys brought the hype, the conversation, the love, all of it. Again, whether you were here chatting, whether you were lurking, whether you're here for 5 minutes, you're here for the full 3.5 hours, whether you're listening to us in the future right now, it's some future date, and you're looking back at me and Mav 10 years from now going, God, what were these guys like back then? Doesn't matter. Love you all. Thank you all for being here. Nothing but respect. You guys make the show what it is, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you all for that. But Mav, what a show, brother. Great to sit down and talk with you again. It's been so long since I heard your voice, since last week, actually. Great to sit and have conversations with you about all this crazy news going on, even during what is generally the slow time of December. But great to be here with you, brother. What do you got coming up? What do we got going on the rest of the week here, man?
Tomorrow is Xbox Ultimate Podcast, and we'll be maybe digging into more of the Blade concept art and kind of giving some theories on what it means for the game and stuff like that, and having some fun in that direction. But yeah, come check out the show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Back Mondays for Fun Speculation Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Tuesdays Fun Pop at 10 p.m. Eastern, and back here Thursday at 7 as usual.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to it. Are you going to be on the shop tomorrow and living split screen tomorrow? Or not tomorrow,
You'll be on
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday. Yes, I will
You'll
be.
be
I
a
will
full
be.
full slate this week, Pong.
Full slate this week,
First one in a
man.
while, bro.
Yeah, it has been, man. It's been crazy. Again, just yeah, it's gonna feel like a nice regular podcasting week
Yeah.
here. So yeah, I'll be tomorrow night. Obviously, you guys all know the drill already. Pong Soul. Find me on X, formerly known as Twitter. Find me on the Xbox Pong Soul. You guys know that stuff by now. And then tomorrow night, I will be there for Xbox Ultimate, as always, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Family gets together. We have a lot of laughs. Can't wait to hear everybody else's thoughts about some of the stuff that we talked about tonight. But be there for that. And then Saturday morning, if you haven't seen Steel tweeting out, if you don't follow Steel on X, you got to follow him. You got to follow me on the X as well. Then what you got to do is you just got to subscribe to our channel, right? Living Split Screen's all one word. Then you just got to show up live Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. At some point during that show, we are giving away a Series S, brand spanking new Series S, live on the air, but you've got to do all those things. So Steel put out the rules this week. I'll do a follow-up video tomorrow morning. But be there for that. So follow us on X, follow Living Split Screen as well on X. So you go to Steel's post, I retweeted it, you can find it, and then be there Saturday morning, subscribe, and you have a chance at a Series S. We don't do a lot of giveaways. Steel and I do a lot of organic stuff, but this was something special for hitting 1K. Shout out to the legend, Dragonheart Yobi, who came through, followed through with his promise that he wanted to do something big when we hit 1K. So we are doing that this Saturday morning. Be there, 3+ hours, buckle up. Unless Steel and I have something going on like last week where I had to go to my dad's Christmas party, so we cut it short. We should be going 3+ hours this week. That's what we love to do. So be there for that. And then Saturday night's the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel. It's Blam, it's Fuzzy, it's myself. I don't know who the guests are this week, but we will be there Saturday night. The best way to end your Saturday night on the Shop Podcast, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Central Time. And the next week it starts all over again. Double Barrel Gaming is the channel. Mr. Boomstick is the man. And Xbox Factor Podcast is the show. And Boom just had an exciting announcement this week. My aforementioned brother from another Steel Rain is joining the Xbox Factor Podcast permanent member panel. So got to show up and support him. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Love that show. Love the panels that Boom puts together. And now a little extra cherry on top with Steel there every Tuesday. So join him there. And then, of course, Thursday, God willing, Mav and I should be back next week. Again, it's early enough in the week before the holidays really kick off. I think we should do our show. So be there for PM in the PM next Thursday, right here. At it again. Same bat channel, same bat time. Otherwise, it is the golden age of gaming, people. Please get out there. Enjoy some of this incredible gaming, whatever you're playing, wherever you're playing. Play what you love. Love what you play. And I'll talk to you all real soon. Have a good evening. Mav, get us out of here.
Peace out, everyone. Have a great night, and thank you all for watching and the amazing support. You guys rock. Peace out.